Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the IU Natatorium on the campus of IUPUI, downtown Indianapolis, as the Indiana Swimming YouTube channel presents the final night of coverage here at the 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Championships, sponsored by Speedo. I'm Eric Eaton. I'm joined by Griffin Hadley, who swims for the University of Tennessee, and we're about ready to get the final night of finals underway with a timed final event to start the evening. Event 73, 13-14 girls, 1,500-meter freestyle. Lane assignments, lane 1, Ayla Madeira, 13-year-old from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 2 is Connolly Furnish, 13-year-old from Club Olympia. Lane 3 is Brindley Yoder, 13-year-old from Concord Swim Club. Lane 4, Harper Aiken, 14-year-old from Indiana Swim Club. Lane 5 will be Katie Brenneman, 14-year-old from Concord Swim Club. Lane 6, Emma Swertfeger, 14-year-old from Fishers Area. Lane 7, Morgan Cicero, 14-year-old from the Crown Point Swim Club. And in lane 8, Kate Cassidy, a 13-year-old from Westfield Aquatics. From the morning swim, we had two heats of a timed finals this morning. Ava Metzger posted the fastest time, 8:27:08. Our meet record set in 2007 by Nunnally is 17:24:19. Static holds the association record set in 1983, 16:49:82. So this is the metric mile. Griffin, 30 lengths of the pool, and we're underway.
Yep, 30 lengths of the pool in this timed final event to get things started here in the final day of the age group state championships here at the IU Natatorium. And with 30 lengths of the pool, you can't really tell a whole lot from the first 50 meters. And a common theme we'll see is sometimes those lap counters at the north end of the pool get a little excited, and the splits in the top right of your screen might not be correct every single time. We saw Kate Cassidy flip, and it said 21 seconds. Don't think that's quite accurate. I think your leader is coming from the middle of the pool, from one of two Concord swimmers, Brindley Yoder and Katie Brenneman. They've had great meets thus far, as has Ayla Madeira up in lane 1 from the Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, known for their distance program. Head coach Joe Keller and company, as well as Alec Haley, they do a great job in the distance events all across the board from ages 10 to 18, really. So Fisher's program knows how to swim these miles, and Madeira's up there in lane number 1. Schwartfeger's in 6, and Katie Brenneman was the 800 champion, so no surprise that we'll see her in contention for the win in this event as well.
Strategies for this race, Griffin, very much so determined by practice, what you do in practice and hitting split times, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. And the training in this event is similar to the training for the 800 or the 400. And each swimmer's going to break this race up in a different way. You're not going to go behind the blocks and say, okay, I have 1,500 meters of swimming. You're going to break this race up, whether it be 3 500s, whether it be by 200, maybe 2 400s and then a 700. There's just different ways to swim this race. Swim the mile a couple times. My age group swimming career as well as my senior career, and the mile is something where you can break it up in a different way and you can swim it in a different way. You can go out fast and try to hang on, try to even split the race or even split the race positively, which means your first half is faster than your second half. Or you can go into it swimming a smooth first half and then try to build through that second 750 meters, trying to improve those splits at the end of the race. And you see those different strategies throughout all of the swimming world. World Championships were held in Budapest last month, and the champion of the men's mile went out really fast. He had a positive split race, and nobody could catch him. Whereas the second place finisher, Bobby Fink, the American, he had a faster second half to the race, and his strategy was to try and catch the rest of the field. So things can differ from all ages of the mile. We saw it at the senior state championships, and now we're seeing it here again in the age group state championships. The two Concord teammates, Yoder and Brenneman, are out in front right now in lanes 3 and 5. Brenneman's going to flip first through 300 meters in 3:31, and it looks like 36 low is where you want to be if you're a leader in this race. Schwartfeger had the fastest split in the pool along with Brindley Yoder at 36.1, and we'll continue to look at those splits throughout this race. It'll be able to tell the tail of the mile. You can tell where somebody's at, if they're fading, if they're gaining on the leaders, based on their past 50 split. So that scoreboard in the top right of your screen will help you figure out who's swimming well at the current moment.
Lane 4, Harper Aiken is the top seed from Indiana Swim Club with a seed time of 17:56.65. And she's currently back in 6th place in the early stages, so she's just developing and swimming her race plan, I would assume, at this point in time.
You got it, Eric. And she's the top seed by about 4 seconds. She knows how to swim this race. And her strategy may be, let the 2 Concord teammates go out and push each other. Let them wear down a little bit, and then I'll strike towards the back half. There's a lot of swimming left to go here through just 8 laps of this one.
Yep, through the 400-meter mark. Following this event, we'll have the 800-meter freestyle for the 13-14 boys.
Yep, you got it. 800 freestyle for the 13-14 boys up next. They swam the 1500 on Friday, and the girls swam the 800 on Friday. So a lot of these names are very similar to the names we saw in those distance events on Friday. If you're swimming the mile, you're probably swimming the 800 and vice versa.
Be 1/3 of the way through the race this time at the starting block end. We'll be through 500 meters.
Yep.
With Brenneman out in front in lane 5.
Great way to swim this race is to think about those 500s. Maybe I want to descend the 500s. A common term in practice that coaches use all the time is, how can we descend down during this set? If you have a set of several 100s, how can you start off well but then descend down to a quicker pace? And that's a very common theme in distance training. Katie Brenneman out front in lane number 5. She's moved under the 36-second barrier. She's the only swimmer in the pool under 36 seconds, and she's extending a lead out in lane 5. She was your 800 champion, and she swam a really well planned out 800 on Friday with descending splits and consistent splits, and she's going to be wanting to do the same thing here tonight in the 1500.
We'll take a second as well while we swim this opening event, the 1500-meter freestyle, to bring you up to date with the team scores entering this final session through the 10 and under session here earlier today, as the 10 and unders concluded their swims for the weekend, and we'll let Griffin bring you up to date on the team scores here with Brenneman out in front here in this race.
Yep, Brenneman leads, Yoder follows, and Schwartfeger's closely behind in lane number 6, and her teammate Madara in lane number 1 is also in it, and so is the top seed. So we'll get you some team scores here during this 1500 for the girls 13-14s. Our 10 and under session finished up around 3:45 this afternoon. They scored a big chunk of points for their teams, and Victor Martin from Flashes Aquatics and Crystal Tang from Indiana Swim Club were your 2 high point champions, our first 2 high point winners of the weekend. Your top 10 teams following that 10 and under session heading into tonight's finals: 10th Valparaiso Swim Club and with 384.5 points, 9th Zionsville Swim Club with 388 points, 8th the Concord Swim Club with 415.5 points, 7th Duneland 429 points, and Indiana Swim Club holds down the 6th position with 434 points. Jump up into your top 5, Summit City Aquatics, 555.5 points. 4th, Fort Wayne Swim Team with 906 points. 3rd, Irish Aquatics, 980.5 points. 2nd place, the Fishers Area Swimming Tigers with 1,057 points. And your current leader at the Indiana Age Group State Championships is the Carmel Swim Club with 2,529 points. The men's scoring, Flashes Aquatics, 222 points. 9th, Franklin Regional, 228 points. 8th is the Boilermaker Aquatics team, 246 points. 7th is the Center Grove boys with 253.5 points. 6th, the Indiana Swim Club boys, 266 points. Right ahead of them is Club Olympia Swim Team, 275 points. Fort Wayne Swim Team in 4th position with 301 points. 3rd, Summit City Aquatics, 449.5 points. Irish Aquatics is second place for the boys with 573.5 points. In the first place men's team currently is Carmel Swim Club with 1,422 points.
And at the halfway mark of this race here, Griffin Katie Brenneman splits an 8:52.18.
Yeah, so she continues to lead through 750 meters. Impressive swim so far from Brenneman. She's still under 36 seconds, and her teammate is hovering right around that 36-second mark on those splits. Puts her at about 112s throughout this race. So you creep under that 36 range, and that's where you want to be in this 13-14 girls metric mile in order to compete for that first, second, third place medal. So we'll get you the women's team scores here. 10th place, Zionsville Swim Club, 232 points. 9th place, Crown Point, 244 points. 8th place at the moment, Concord Swim Club. They'll get a nice boost after this mile, 255 points. 7th, Valparaiso, 257.5 points. 6th, Southeastern Swim Club of Fishers with 285 points. 5th is Duneland Swim Club, 360 points. 4th is the Irish Aquatics team of girls with 407 points. Fort Wayne swim team, 605 points. And second place is the Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, who had a great boost from their girls team during the 10 and under session with 848 points. And first right now in the girls team race is the Carmel Swim Club with 1,107 points. So those are your top 10 team scores, men's scores and women's scores so far here at our age group state championships. But Eric, there's a lot of points left on the board.
There sure are. The relays at the end of this meet, there's 4 of them will score double points.
You got it. We have the 11-12s 200 freestyle relays, which I'm excited for after those 10 and under freestyle relays we saw earlier this afternoon. Some great races between those 10 and under teams. Electric energy coming from the deck and from the stands here at the IU Natatorium, and I would think it would even increase even more with more parents in the stands, more kids, more athletes on the deck. And then we got the 13-14 400 freestyle relay as well, one of my personal favorites to end this thing.
Katie Brenneman makes the turn at the far end of the pool. She's the leader here in the 1500. As she heads back to the starting block end, she'll be through 1,000 meters.
Katie Brenneman really taking control of this 1500. She's swimming with an arm out front. We talked about this on Friday, but it's so crucial to establish a rhythm, establish a pace, and stick to that pace throughout the race. And even try to increase that pace as you go. And that's exactly what Katie Brenneman is doing. Younger sister of high school mental attitude award winner and a very accomplished swimmer as well. And Gracie Brenneman, and now Katie's getting the job done here. Flips in 35.5 on that last 50 split. And she's got a super steady kick, white water behind her, arm out front, as does her teammate Brindley Yoder, who had a great 800. Yoder's got a little bit quicker of a tempo, and she's starting to pick things up as well. And the 2 Concord swimmers are followed by the 2 Fishers teammates. And you might be wondering at home, 2 sets of teammates leading this race. That's a little unique, and that's not all uncommon in this one because good training groups causes for great races.
Third place, Madeira in 1, and in lane 6, Wertfager. She's currently in 4th place. Trying to come up into that battle for 3rd now is Aiken in 4th.
I'm sure Brenneman and Yoder go to battle almost every day in practice, whether it be threshold freestyle work, holding 100s, 200s, etc. And I'm sure Madeira and Schwartfager do the same, go to battle each and every day. They're swimming this mile together. Even though they're across the pool, I'm sure they know what each other are capable of based on the fact that they probably race each other each and every day, which is great to see. And it's always good to see healthy competition at practice and in training, because then you can bring that energy into a meet.
Harper Aiken in lane 4 is closing in on Schwartzfager right now. Let's see who's faster in the pool between those 2. It looks like Aiken split at 36.47 to Schwartzfager's 37.65.
So Aiken is holding down the 5th position, but she had the 2nd fastest, she had the 2nd fastest split in the pool. So like we discussed earlier, She's on her way on the move up. She's the top seed in this meet. It looks like she's going to go past Schwartfeger on this 50, and then her next target would be Madeira up there in lane number 1. There's always races inside the races. I'm sure Aiken was able to see Brynlee Yoder's wave from lane number 3 on that turn. And there she goes again, 36-2, chipping away at those other athletes in the water. Looks like Brenneman's going to run away with this one, though.
6 laps to go for her.
Yeah, she's ahead by about 20 meters, and you can see the Indiana Swim Club coach motioning to Harper Aiken, let's find the next opponent. Let's find the next swimmer in the water to go and try and catch.
And that would be Madeira in lane 1, closing into about a body length difference between Madeira and Aiken at this point.
36-3 split from Aiken, 0.2 faster than Madeira in lane number 1. She's probably going to need to approach that 4 to 7/10 mark, as she's 2 full seconds behind Madeira. And I wouldn't be surprised if all of these girls in this 1500 have a great last 100, a great last 50. Adrenaline takes over there at the end. You just want to get home to that final wall. So Aiken's going to need to make her move and see how close she can get here. We'll see what the split comes in. 36-3 to 36-6. So a great battle within the battle here in the girls 1500.
200 meters to go now for the leader. Katie Brenneman out here in lane 5 as she flips at the starting block end.
Yep, Brenneman is passing everybody in the opposite direction here in this 1500. She's the only swimmer that's consistently split under 36 seconds. Her teammate Yoder has flirted with breaking that barrier at 36-0 on that last 50 split. 36-3 from Madeira, so she picked it up on that one. Outsplit Aiken in the middle of the pool. A nice response from the Fishers 13-year-old. Brynlee Yoder, also just a 13-year-old in lane number 3, having a great swim as well. Kudos to all of these girls for putting themselves through the training it takes to swim this race, and that is no easy task at any age. You start swimming the mile at 13 and 14 years old, and all these ladies were able to qualify for the age group championships, and here they are going for those best times. Katie Brenneman's on her way to another state championship title here. Here's the bell. She's got 100 meters left. She's going to be in great shape for a best time here.
Here's the bell for Yoder up in lane 3 in second place.
See what Yoder's split comes in at, 36-3. She's been very consistent. Madeira's going to flip third in lane number 1. 36-3 as well. 36-5 for Aiken. So Madeira's having a fantastic swim up in lane 1. She was the 7th seed entering today. Time over 19 minutes. She's going to be well under that time here this evening.
Yeah, Aiken closed in, got within reach of her about 150 meters ago, and then Madeira answered back and is pulled back in front of Aiken by a little bit larger margin than she had for a little bit of the time, a short time ago. Here comes Katie Brenneman. She's going to stop the clock and win this event. Just a couple strokes left now to the wall.
17:42 for Katie Brenneman. A solid drop there. She was entered in a 17:56. Excuse me, that was Harper Aiken's seed time. Katie Brenneman was entered in an 18-minute flat. Big time drop.
Tremendous time drop. 17:42.76 for Brenneman. Yoder finishes second, 18:03.48.
10-second drop for Yoder.
Third place, Madeira, 18:08.97, and Aiken will get fourth, 18:11.40.
Schwartfeger comes in as well, 18:20. A great swim from all 5 of our top 5 finishers here in the mile. Comes Connolly Furnish from Club Olympia. She's going to have a solid 6-second drop up there in lane number 2.
Looks like Ava Metzger from the morning swim, the 18:27.08, is going to get her on the podium.
Most definitely. We'll have an awards break after our time final in the 13-14 800 free, 11-12 time final in the 200 butterfly, and then the finals of the 13-14 200 backstroke. So three different disciplines to go until our first awards break of the night.
Next event will be one heat of time finals, the fastest seeded heat, event 74, the 13-14 boys 800-meter freestyle. There was one heat swum in the prelim session this morning. Top time posted by Anthony Korchnik, 9:23.85. Jason Lancaster holds the meet record set in 1998, 36:11. Michael Brenniger set the association record back in 2014, 8 minutes 17 seconds and 8:17.56. Of course, he was on the Olympic team, the United States Olympic team in Tokyo this past summer.
Yes, he was. A very impressive Michael Brenniger record in this 13-14 800 freestyle. We'll see some familiar faces in this race.
Lane assignments in lane 1, Seth Wernz, 14-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 2 is Drew Uni, 14-year-old from Avon Community. Lane 3, Lane Monger, a 14-year-old from the Noblesville Swim Club. Lane 4 is George Patterson, 14-year-old from the Valparaiso Swim Club. Lane 5, Matthew Weeks, 14-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 6, Deacon Smith, 14-year-old from Northridge area. Lane 7, Kellen Kennedy, 14-year-old from Dunlin. And lane 8, Camden Stutzman, 14-year-old from Concord. Patterson is the top seed with a seed time of 9:09.35.
And the goal for Patterson would have to be, let's try and get under 9 minutes in this one. With a seed time of 9:09, that's not out of the realm of possibility, and that is a huge barrier to break in the 800 freestyle. Patterson had a great 1500 on Friday and followed it up with a excellent 100 freestyle as well. So Patterson showing off his range in all of the freestyles, and he's going out fast here in the 800.
Is there any difference how you would approach an 800 as opposed to a 1500?
I think there's a little bit of difference in the strategy. I know personally I like the 800 a little bit more than the mile because I think there's a little just bit more room to swim fast at the beginning. I think you can train for the 800 in a little bit of a different way. You can train it with 100s, 150s, 200s. If you're swimming the mile, sometimes you have to train it with 400s and 500s and descending 500s. But with the 800, it's how many 100s can I hold at a certain pace? How many 200s? Can I do 4 200s broken at a certain pace? And that's what you see here in this 800. You see the boys take it out a lot more aggressive than they do the mile. There's a big difference in the extra 700 on the back end of the mile than there is in this 800. And really, if you think about it, the 400 is turned into a mid-distance event. It is no longer distance. If you watch the 500 freestyle in the yards pool, it's basically like who can sprint for 4 minutes straight. And the 400 is no different. It's almost like a 400 all-out kick where you really got to have that rhythm. And the 800 is just 2 400s. So how can I have the best possible 2 400s? Can those 2 400 splits be close together? And how can I set myself apart from the field? And that's exactly what George Patterson is doing right now in his first 200 out in 2:07.
He's in first place, followed by Monger right now in lane 3 from Noblesville.
Yeah, Monger had a great mile as well. Finished third individually in the mile in the 1500. Patterson finished second behind Louis Zhang, who has elected not to swim this race. He's swimming the 2 back a little later tonight, as well as the 200 freestyle. I'm sure we'll see several of these athletes in this heat right now probably contest that 200 freestyle as well. A busy night for many athletes and a difficult night as well on the third night of racing. Starting with this 800 free, and the 13-14 still have the 200 back, breast, and freestyle on the event schedule. So many of these athletes are going to compete in an 800 and a 200, multiple 200s. So a difficult night, but these athletes are ready to go. They're trained for this meet, and they want to get that spot on top of the podium. And George Patterson is going for this one, a 33-8 split. Very impressive out in 3:15. Definitely ahead of his pace of his best time.
Looks like a three-way battle for second starting to shape up here in lane 2. Drew Uni of Avon Community. In lane 3, Lane Monger of Noblesville. And then in lane 5, Matthew Weeks of Irish Aquatics.
Yep, Uni had a great swim in the mile. He was down in lane 8 2 days ago, and now he's up in lane number 2. He did a great job descending through his 50s. He really picked it up on the back half, and it looks like he's in this race earlier. 34 split there for Uni, the only other 34 split besides your leader, and that's George Patterson. So this will be the halfway mark of this 800 through 400 meters. And based on this split, this is where these swimmers want to be for their second 400 as well. How close to the first 400 split can I get? 4:23 for Patterson, well ahead of his pace of his best time.
There's your three-way battle for second, flipping at the halfway mark, and it looks like
Monger's in second, but Uni's only a 10th behind him, and then Weeks is only 3/10 behind Drew Uni, so a very close race. Those splits can be decided by who's flipping the fastest inside the flags. They're swimming very similar, and it looks like Uni might be out in front a little bit of those other two, but Monger's right there with him. He had a great last 50 in the mile, so wouldn't be surprised if he'll charge home here in 350 meters. Patterson sneaks under 34 once again. So does Uni, splits at 34, and then 35-0 and 35-1 for Monger and Weeks. So very consistent splits, and Uni's coach is fired up on the far side of the pool trying to get him in this race.
Yeah, moving out to about a half body length lead over the other two athletes in that battle for second behind Patterson.
34-0 for Patterson, very consistent. The Valpo 14-year-old trying to run away with this one in a best time. That Speedo sectional time standard is a 9:49. I know he'd love to get under that standard.
Uni was about 4 hundredths of a second off of Patterson's pace on that last 50.
Yeah. With only 5 laps to go here, I think Uni might be a little far back to approach Patterson's lead. Patterson with a 34.4 there. It'll be interesting to see what Uni splits. He's going to take second, and it's going to be a 34.7, so right around that same pace that he's going. Monger drops under 35 seconds, and Weeks is right there holding down the 4th position as well. Here comes Patterson. He's led wire to wire here in the 800, similarly to Katie Brenneman's mile that we just saw. He drops under 34 to go 33.9, and he can feel it now. Just a couple laps here to go in this 400. 34.4 for Uni, another impressive split. He's trying to separate himself, almost a body length and a half now ahead of Lane Monger, who's in lane number 3, and then Matthew Weeks is holding down 4th in lane number 5, and we got a great battle for 5th in lane 6 and 7 between Deacon Smith and Keelan Kennedy of NASA and Duneland. They're down there battling it out. Only a couple tenths separate those two guys.
Patterson on his way back to the starting block end. When he reaches the starting block end, he's going to get the bell lap. He'll get the bell, signaling 2 laps of the pool left.
Yep, just a 100 remain here. Once George Patterson makes his way back to the south end of the pool, his best time of 9:09 is likely to go down here. We'll see what he splits. 7:47. That 39 split has to be off based on his previous consistency. And there goes Patterson. He's picked up his tempo a little bit.
Uni gets the bell out in lane 2 in second place.
34.4 for Uni, 35.0 for Monger. 35.2 for Matthew Weeks. Those are your top 4, and then we got a great battle for 5th down in lane 6 and 7.
And this is a time final, so swimmers from the heat that swam this morning certainly can move up and get on the podium if their time was fast enough.
You got it. Every single time factors into this race. The 800 has only swam one time at the age group state championships. You either swim it at the morning, or if you're seeded top 8, that means you have the top 8, one of the top 8 times coming into the meet. Then you get to swim it in this final session. Here comes George Patterson. Under the flags. He's going to go best time. Great swim from George Patterson, 8:53.66. Coming home in a 32. Wire-to-wire win for Patterson, and here comes Drew Uni. Lane 2, he's going to grab second in 9:08. A 30-second drop for the ACST 14-year-old, and Monger comes in 9:13, a big-time drop for him as well.
Matthew Weeks fourth, 9:16.38. There's that battle for fifth, won by Deacon Smith in a time of 9:22.50.
Only 2/10 separating fifth and sixth here in the 800, and so we finish out this heat.
Looks like our morning swim top time by Anthony Korchnik, 9:23.85. We'll get him on the podium as well.
Should get him a spot up on the podium.
And that 8:53.66 for George Patterson was able to achieve that sectional cut time that Griffin talked about, which was 9:00.49 that time standard.
Yeah, great barrier to break there from Patterson. He went for it too. He went for it from the start. He didn't look back, and he got rewarded.
Next up, another time final event here. Event 75, 11-12 girls 200-meter butterflies, second and final heat of time finals. Breck Wolf posted the top time from the morning swim, 3:00.40. We only have 7 swimmers in the second heat of time final, so Breck will get a position on the podium a little bit later for the awards ceremony. The question is which position. Our lane assignments here for this second heat. Fastest seeded heat. In lane 1, it's Zara Patton, 11-year-old from the Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 2 will be Evie Wheat, 12-year-old from the Westfield Aquatics. Lane 3, Haley Hunter, 11-year-old from the Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 4, Alex Nguyen, 12-year-old from Fishers Area. Lane 5, Ellie Clark, 12-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 6 will be Christina Browning, 12-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 7, Ella Richling, an 11-year-old from the Summit City Aquatics. German holds the meet record set in 2018, 2:26.41. Meg Callenpang, the association record set in 2016, that time is 2:26.34.
So a unique situation here in the girls 11-12 200 fly. One of, if not the most physically demanding events on their schedule, and only 10 swimmers elected to compete in this race in the entire event. So everybody's scoring points, barring a DQ, and everybody in this heat, if they finish in the top 8, will be on the podium. 8 of 10 swimmers will get a chance to get a medal, so a great opportunity for every single one of these swimmers. And I would keep your eyes on Ellie Clark. She's in lane 5. We've seen 2 meet records go down this weekend. Ellie Clark owns both of those. She broke the record in the 200 back by 3 full seconds on Friday, and then she broke the 100 backstroke record yesterday. She was the 100 butterfly champion, and Nguyen was the 50 butterfly champion in 4. So we're going to have a great battle here, kicking it up a notch with 200 meters of butterfly.
Yeah, big difference between 200 meters and 100 meters in butterfly.
Definitely. And you can see really, really strong rhythms and butterfly strokes from both Nguyen and Clark. They're your 2 leaders in 4 and 5, and I don't think that's going to change based on their past performances. You never know in the 200 fly. We saw it on Friday in the 13-14s 2 fly, where sometimes a third 50 or a fourth 50 would dictate the entire race. Ellie Clark's going to lead in 1:10.81. Just off what she was in the 100 fly to win yesterday. She was a 1:06 yesterday, so about 4 seconds over that time. But when you're swimming 200 meters of butterfly, you're probably not going to go out in a personal best in the first 100 meters.
Unless you want to live to tell about it on the back half.
You got it. I mean, you're going to feel the pain if you try your best to go on a best time. But Ellie Clark's best time coming into the weekend was a 1:10. So impressive entry time, or impressive first 100 from Ellie Clark, and an impressive First 100 for Alex Nguyen as well, as she was entered in a 110, and she was out in 111. Really impressive swims from both Clark and Nguyen in the middle of the pool, and Christina Browning in 6 as well from Irish Aquatics is coming back on the leaders just a little bit. Looks like Ellie Clark's going to win this thing as she's charging well. Really powerful kick. She's throwing those hands forward. Alex Nguyen's having a great swim as well in lane 4.
Clark on her way to another win here this weekend, 231.77.
Consistent back 100 for Ellie Clark, was able to split 40 point on the 3rd and 4th 50s. Impressive swim from Alex Nguyen as well, 237 to grab 2nd in the state. Great sportsmanship there from your 1st and 2nd place finishers. Christina Browning finishing 3rd and 239, another sub 240 swim. She's going to grab the zone cut as well. And that'll do it for the timed final of the girls 11-12 200 fly. So anybody who swam it today is in contention for finishing in any certain place.
Yep. So we'll see Ellie Clark on the top, step at the podium a little bit later here with our awards presentation. 11-12 girls 200-meter butterfly. Next up will be event 76, one heat of time finals. 11-12 boys in the 200-meter butterfly. Top time this morning posted by Sawyer Green Whitehead, 2:15.10. In lane 1 for the fastest seeded heat will be Max Barnes, 12-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 2, Cam Lasley, 12-year-old from Capital Aquatics. Lane 3, Jack Street, 12-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 4, Joshua Pendleton, 12-year-old from Club Olympia. Lane 5, Christopher Divley, 12-year-old from Northridge area. Lane 6 is Gavin Gannon, 12-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 7, Bryce Salvadori, 12-year-old from Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 8, Kiari Slater, 11-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. Lindsay holds the meet record set in 2018, 225.83. Joto Owasi, the association record set in 2013, is 215.29.
Former teammate of mine, Joto Owasi, 215 at 12. For perspective, a 213 won the event in 13-14s. So a very impressive record there in this boys 11-12 200 fly. Christopher Dibley with an impressive first 50. He's out in 33.50. Followed by Cam Lasley, Capital Aquatics in lane number 2. Looks like Pendleton, Joshua Pendleton's creeping up here. He swam a super strategic 400 freestyle the other night. Was able to go out smooth and then pick off everybody in front of him in the back half. So we'll see if he attempts to do the same in this 200 butterfly. Dibley's going to lead through 100 meters.
I'll double check the time of Sawyer Green Whitehead from this morning as well. So we get a great battle shaping up here in the middle of the pool between Pendleton and Dibley.
Fantastic battle. Looks like Pendleton took off the turn, but Dibley responded. And there goes Pendleton with that super solid stroke. He's very technically sound in all 4 strokes. No different here in the butterfly. Christopher Dibley looking extremely strong as well in lane number 5.
Making their final turn at the far end of the pool.
And there goes Pendleton, a 37.99 split on the 3rd 50. Dibley was also under 40 seconds in 39.85. So both of these guys still crushing it here in the boys 200 butterfly. Pendleton's taking control of this one, but Dibley's holding down that 2nd spot. Breathing every other, consistent breathing pattern from Pendleton. Now switching to every 2.
Pendleton's going to take the win in a time of 2:29.91.
Impressive time from Pendleton, sneaking under that 2:30 barrier. 2:29.91. Second was Dibley. 2:33.41. Third was Cam Lasley in lane number 2. 2:37.63. And Bryce Salvadori in lane number 7. 2:41.44. Snuck in there for fourth, Southeastern Swim Club, lane number 7.
The time, by the way, the morning swim from Sawyer Green Whitehead was 2:51.11. That was the top time. Just to correct that from earlier.
Yeah, looks like he'll sneak in there probably for 8th.
Yep.
Kudos to all the 11, 12-year-olds choosing to swim this 200-meter butterfly. No easy walk in the park here in the long course pool.
Next up, event 77, 13-14 girls 200-meter backstroke. We'll have a consolation final followed by a championship final. These two final heats were set by prelim swims this morning. In the consolation final, in lane 1, Haley Ververly, 13-year-old from the Munster Swim Club. Lane 2 is McCartney Mailer, 14-year-old from Summit City Aquatics. Lane 3, Sabrina Ledwith, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 4 is Avery Hannon, 13-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 5, Kate Fetters, 13-year-old from the Fort Wayne Swim Team. Lane 6, Jovi Mowry, 14-year-old from Franklin Regional. Lane 7 is Jordan Glassley, 13-year-old from the Fort Wayne Swim Team. And in lane 8, Grace Stimmick, 14-year-old from Crown Point Swim Club.
So the 200 backstroke for the 13-14s of both girls and boys. One of my favorite events. One of the ones I've competed in the most in the last several years of swimming. And there's several bullet points on the list of how to swim a solid 200 backstroke. And the goal is you want to go out fast on that first 50, but you want to save the energy in your legs and as well as your arms. You kind of want to swim from the core, have a steady head position. Use that momentum off the start to drive forward, and then you want to be as consistent as possible on splits 2, 3, and 4. You have 3 50s remaining, and backstroke is one of the races where you should be closer in split times between the first 100 and the second 100, and we'll see that from the really impressive swimmers here in these 13-14 200 backstroke. Ledwith is out front in 1:10.86. You see the leaders all splitting under 38 seconds here in this first heat of the girls' 13-14 200 backstroke. We'll look to see if these girls can stay under 38 seconds on the third split. That'll dictate who's in a great position to race home on that fourth 50.
A really good battle shaping up for second behind Ledwith here.
Yep, Ledwith as well as looks like that's Mowry from Franklin in lane number 6. She's going to take the lead. And there it is, 37.63. She's the one with the most consistent split, and she's in the best possible position to win this heat in lane number 6. That's Jovi Mowry from Franklin, a 37.63 split on the third 50, and that might win her this race.
Half a lap to go. Here comes Fetters in lane 5.
Yep, Kate Fetters as well. Fort Wayne, Sabrina Ledwith, Avery Hannon, a great race for second, third, fourth, and Mowry's going to win this consolation heat.
Out in lane 6 with a time of 2:26.50.
And that's how you do it right there. 37, 37, 37-1 on her back 350s there from Jovi Mowry. An impressive split race. 2:26.50. 5 seconds faster than this morning. Have a swim, Jovi.
Fetters second, 2:28.68. Third place was Ledwith in time of 2:29.37. That brings us now to the championship final. 8 fastest qualifiers from prelims this morning. In lane 1, Addie Zakali, 14-year-old from South Bend Swim Club. Lane 2 is Faith Gorey, 13-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 3 is Emily Wolf, 13-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 4 will be Addison Carlisle, 14-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 5, Kayla Barr, 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 6, Adeline Loeffner, 13-year-old from Duneland. Lane 7, Lucy Enoch, a 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. And in lane 8, Sophia Floyd, 13-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Carlisle qualifying number 1 this morning in a time of 2:22.26. JoJo Ramey from Fishers area holds the meet association record. They were both set in 2019. Meet record 2:15.58, association record 2:13.34.
Yeah, so Addison Carlisle was under the Futures qualifying standard this morning of 2:23.99. She came in at a 2:22.26. So she'll be the favorite here in the championship final, the 200 back. The Futures time standard is in between sectionals and junior nationals. So it's that next step up from the Speedo sectional meet that we'll have here in March at the IU Natatorium. And then that next step, of course, is that junior national meet, which that JoJo Ramey record is faster than that junior national cut.
As we get this race underway, interesting from this morning, I think we had 5 preliminary heats. 4 of them that were won by Carmel swimmers, and all 4 of them were in the A final here.
Shows the strength of a training group, the strength of a emphasis on training and backstroke endurance, because the 200 backstroke is no joke. And 1, 2, 3, 4 swimmers, half of the heat in the 13-14 girls 200 backstroke A final is Carmel Swim Club. And there's 5 boys from Carmel Swim Club in the A final of the 13-14 200 backstroke. So they're stacking the deck here in the backstroke events. But as Addison Carlisle is the favorite in the middle of the pool. She's the only one under 33 seconds on that first 50, 32.74. So we'll see what she splits on the second 50 and if she can hold that throughout the second 100. Her teammate Emily Wolf is in lane number 3. She was the champion in the 200 butterfly, so we know that she can get through a 200. Fisher's known for their endurance, like we talked about earlier in the session, and Addison's taken off here, younger sibling of Jackson and Connor Carlisle. 2 swimmers that are swimming collegiately. Jackson's at IU and Connor's about to head to Alabama here soon. Addison flipped in 1:08.00, an impressive first to 100 split, 35 split there on the 50. Faith Gorey, Emily Wolf, and Adeline Loeffner were the only swimmers under 37 seconds on that second 50. So we'll keep an eye on those 3 swimmers on this third 50. And it looks like Wolf and Loeffner have pulled ahead in that battle for second behind Carlisle. Carlisle's going to split a 36 on the third 50 and Loeffner 37, and as well as Emily Wolf. So Carlisle's still the fastest swimmer in the pool. She's in control of this race. It'll be a great battle for second between Loeffner and Wolf, and great battle as well between the Carmel Swim Club teammates for 5th and 4th between Gorey and Barr in lanes 2 and 5. So great races across the pool. Carlisle's going to run away with this one. An incredible last 25 from Carlisle.
Loeffner moving into position to challenge for second, perhaps take second here at the finish as Carlisle wins in the time of 2:21.76.
Another drop for Carlisle, 2:21.76 under her prelim time of 2:22. Second was Loeffner, and 6 from Duneland, 2:24.40. A great time for her as well. And third was Emily Wolf from Fishers in 2:25.04. We'll get things started with the 13-14 boys, and then we'll head into our first awards break of the evening.
Event 78, 13-14 boys 200-meter backstroke. Consolation final up first here. In lane 1, Alex Koo, 13-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 2, Carter Schultz, 13-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 3, Anthony Korchnik, 14-year-old from Boilermaker Aquatics. Lane 4 is Lee Balcom, 14-year-old unattached swimmer. Lane 5, Hamilton Gates, 13-year-old from Summit City. Lane 6, William Allen, 13-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 7 is Camden Stutzman, 14-year-old from the Concord Swim Club. And in lane 8, Leo Nye, 14-year-old from Irish Aquatics. That's your 8 qualifiers for the consolation final.
Lee Balcom, who's unattached, Southeastern, 2:23.27 was his prelim time. He's in lane 4, and he's your top qualifier for this consolation final. It took a 2:26.44 to make it back in this 200 backstroke, so just about 3 seconds separating first through 8th in this respective heat. Leo Nye, though, he was ranked high in the 100 back, and he's over there in lane 8. Wouldn't be surprised if he's in this one as well. He's going to flip 4th. First is Hamilton Gates. He won the B final in the 100 backstroke yesterday, so he's already a heat winner so far this weekend, and Lee Balcom had a fantastic turn to take the lead through 75 meters now.
Balcom in 4, Gates in 5 here.
Balcom and Gates battling here in this consolation final, the 200 back. Balcom's going to flip first. Hamilton Gates second in this heat. Third belongs to Anthony Korchnik from Boilermaker, 109. And just 0.2 of a second are separating our top two. And they're not swimming anywhere close to each other.
No.
Balcom is hugging the far lane line. And Gates is in the middle or even on the other side of the lane. So they probably know where each other are, and they're not trying to help each other out whatsoever. Great cheering squad down there for Balcom. Southeastern Swim Club of Fishers trying to get their 14-year-old home.
Final turn here.
And they're going to flip even. Gates with a faster flip. He got his feet around just a little bit quicker than Balcom, so he came off the wall first. 36 split. He's the only one under 37 seconds in the field. And now they're stroke for stroke, swimming right up next to each other on that lane line. Balcom and Gates, wire to wire. Here we go. 15 meters to go. Not a whole lot of separation from your leaders. It looks like Korchnik is creeping up, and he's going to run out of pool.
Gates may take this here at the finish.
Gates looks like he might have the smoother finish, and he does. 2:21.98 to Lee Balcom's 2:22.34, and Korchnik pulls third and 2:23.36.
Next up, the championship final. In lane one, it will be Drew Uni, 14-year-old from Avon Community. He swam the 800 a little bit ago. Lane two, Riley Sweeney, 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane three, Henry Linus, 14-year-old from Center Grove Aquatic. Lane four is Lewis Zhang, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane five, William Lathrop, the 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane six, Carter Hadley, 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 7, Jackson Pyle, 14-year-old from Summit City Aquatics. Lane 8, Corey Hahn, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Wyatt Davis set the meet record in 2016, 2:05.61. Carter Lancaster holds the association record. That mark set last year, 2:03.19. Zhang qualified number one this morning in a time of 2:10.31.
And a very respectable time in 2:10.31. Henry Linus won the 100 back. He's going to be out fast. Lewis Zhang won the mile, so he's going to try his best to chase Linus down at the end of this one. And Will Lathrop over there in lane number 5, he's going to try to hang with those two boys as long as possible. Lewis Zhang was second in the 100 back, so he has some speed as well. And Lewis was 2:10 this morning. I remember what it was like the first time to break 2:10. It's a really special barrier, and it's a tough one to break. So everybody in this heat that's what they're gunning for. Lewis was 8 seconds faster than everybody else this morning. However, there is some strategy that goes into it on Sunday morning. It's the last day of the meet. If you know you can qualify, you might not want to push as hard as possible if you know you're going to squeak into that A final. And Henry Linus is on Lewis's hip, but it looks like Lewis is going to take control of this one, and he's going to be out in 1:02. So the goal, he's got to come back faster than 1:07.5 if he wants to creep under 2:10, and that will be his goal. That big old scoreboard down there at the north side of the stadium, north side of the pool, you can see it coming off the wall in the backstroke. It's so tempting not to look at, and I'm sure Lewis is going to be looking at his split. I'm guilty of doing that. I remember my 14-year-old age group state. I was like, man, I'm on pace. I need to get home faster. So I'm sure Lewis is going to do the same thing here, as is Henry Linus. Lewis is going to control this one, 1:35.99, a 33 split. So he's going to have to do about the same thing on this 50. Linus holds down second position. He was outsplit by Lathrop by just a little bit. And then there's a great battle for fourth between Carter Hadley, Jackson Pyle, and Riley Sweeney. It looks like Lewis has really separated himself from the field. Linus as well. And then Hadley and Lathrop are down there racing in 5 and 6. Lewis is going to come in. He's going to have a shot at it. And I think he's going to do it. 2:09.65. Great swim from Lewis Zhang there. 2:14.63 for Linus. A big-time drop from this morning.
2:16.01 for Lathrop in the third place finish there.
Yep, and then looks like top four were under that sectional standard of 2:18, so Shout out to my brother Carter, squeaking under there in fourth place, 2:17.32. Dominant showcase by the Carmel Swim Club boys in the 13-14 age group there, finishing first, third, fourth, sixth, and seventh in the 200 back. Shout out to their coach, Alex Rail, getting these boys ready, and a big-time swim from Henry Linus as well.
Going to have our first awards break here of this session. Awards for 13-14 girls in the mile, 13-14 boys in the 800 free, 11-12-year-olds in the 200 butterfly, and then the 13-14-year-olds in the 200 backstroke events, which you just saw just a few moments ago. When we return to swimming, it'll be event 79, 11-12 girls in the 50-meter breaststroke. We'll start at the north end of the pool for those races. We'll have a consolation final followed by a championship final. That's coming up after the awards break. We'll hear from Mike Miles here, the voice of the pool deck, in a moment. Tonight's broadcast being brought to you by Speedo. Speedo is an official sponsor of the Indiana Swimming LSC and all championship meets. Also by Elsmore Swim Shop. The Elsmore Swim Shop is the official supplier and sponsor of Indiana Swimming and Team Indiana. Indiana Swimming would like to wish all this weekend's competitors good luck and fast times. Indiana Swimming creating opportunities for swimmers to realize their dreams. Rest of our order here for this evening. 11-12-year-olds in the 50 breaststroke up next, and the 13-14-year-olds in the 200 breaststroke. 11-12-year-olds 200 freestyle, followed by the 13-14-year-olds in the same event. Consolation and championship finals for all these events that I'm going over right now, followed by the 11-12-year-olds in the 50 backstroke. That'll be our final consolation and championship final swims of the evening, events 87 and 88. So let's go to Mike Miles and we'll tell you the rest of the rundown.
73, 13-14 girls, 1500 freestyle. In 8th place for Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Izzy Hauk. Seventh place from Club Olympia, Connie Furnesh. 6th place from Zionsville Swim Club, Ava Metzger. 5th place from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Emma Schwertfeger. 4th from Indiana Swim Club, Harper Eakin. 3rd place from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Ayla Madeira. 2nd place from Concord Swim Club, Brinley Yoder. And the 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion and 13-14 girls 1500 freestyle from Concord Swim Club, Katie Brenneman, at a time of 17:42.76.
Presenting the medals to our athletes here tonight, we have Jim Todd and Andy Peterson. Jim Todd, formerly the coach of the Center Grove Aquatic, and Andy Peterson of Hamilton Southeastern, both retired now from coaching age group, but both did tremendous jobs with those programs, and they are handing out our medals tonight to our top 8 finishers. We'll turn things back over to Mike Miles here in a minute for our top 8 finishers in the 800 freestyle. Here they come.
Up on the awards podium now, top 8 finishers, 13-14 boys. 800 freestyle. In 8th place from Carmel Swim Club, Noah Moeller. 7th place from Boilermaker Aquatics, Anthony Korchnak. 6th from Duneland Swim Club, Keelan Kennedy. 5th from Northridge Area Swim Association, Deacon Smith. 4th from Irish Aquatics, Matthew Weeks. 3rd place finisher from Noblesville Swim Club, Lane Monger. Placing 2nd from Avon Community Swim Team, Drew Uni. The 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion of 13-14 boys, 800 free from Valparaiso Swim Club, George Patterson at a time of 8:53.66.
And that was Andy Peterson presenting George Patterson that winning medal. Of course, Andy Peterson, former age group coach at Southeastern Swim Club of Fishers and the head swimming and diving coach, former head swimming and diving coach at Hamilton Southeastern. He's retired from coaching.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time with Andy at various Indiana swimming elite camps, and a couple times during the past few years of moratorium, the week of practice where high school swimmers can't practice with their coaches. So Andy's been retired, so it's always been fun to catch up with Coach Peterson, and he's done so much for the sport in the state of Indiana, and as has back to Mike.
Girls 200 butterfly. In 8th place from Irish Aquatics, Aylin Bilgeiser. 7th from Southeastern Swim Club, Sarah Patton. 6th from Capital Aquatics, Breck Wolf. 5th from Westfield Aquatics, Evie Wheats. 4th from Zionsville Swim Club, Haley Hunter. 3rd place finisher from Irish Aquatics, Christina Browning. 2nd place from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Alex Wynn. The 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 11 and 12 girls, 200 butterfly from Carmel, Ellie Clark. A time of 2:31.77.
And that was Jim Todd, the former age group coach of Center Grove Aquatic, presenting Ellie Clark that winning medal there. He's also retired. Both him and Andy passing out the medals here tonight, as we said.
Coach Todd, a great representative of Indiana swimming as well, coached many different age group champions, state champions, as did Andy. So very fitting that both of them are giving these awards out.
Mike Miles.
200 butterfly. In 8th place from Southeastern Swim Club, Sawyer Green Whitehead. 7th from Carmel Swim Club, Jack Street. 6th from Irish Aquatics, Max Barnes. 5th from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Gavin Gannon. 4th from Southeastern Swim Club, Bryce Salvadori. 3rd place from Capital Aquatics, Cam Leslie. 2nd place from Northridge Area Swimming Association, Christopher Dibley. The 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion and 11 and 12 boys, 200 butterfly from Club Olympia, Joshua Pendleton, and a time of 2:29.91. Direct your attention down to the net.
All right, we're going to return to swimming.
We're going to get started from the north end of the pool here for some 50 action. The 50 breaststroke for the 11-12 girls, just one length of the pool. Go from some 200s, some distance events to some sprints, the 50 breaststroke.
Event 79, 11-12 girls 50-meter breaststroke consolation final coming up here shortly. In lane 1 will be Josie Trent, 11-year-old from the Fort Wayne swim team. Lane 2 will be Angelina Michael, 12-year-old from the Pike Township Swim Club. Lane 3, Madeline Yonkis, 11-year-old from Westfield Aquatics. Lane 4, Alex Nguyen, 12-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 5 is Emily Wang, 12-year-old from Indiana Swim Club. Lane 6, Hudson Helton, 12-year-old from Plainfield Community. Lane 7, Victoria Irizarry, 12-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. And in lane 8, Kavya Patel, 12-year-old from the Southeastern Swim Club.
So just one length of the pool here. We'll have our consolation final followed by the championship final. All 8 of these athletes qualified for this heat this morning in the preliminaries. So many of them, I'm assuming, went best times, get themselves a lane for finals. Your top qualifier in this heat is Alex Nguyen. We just saw her in the 200 butterflies, so she's showing off her versatility, now choosing for the sprint breaststroke event. It's pretty even through 25 meters. It's like Madeline Yunkis from Westfield in lane number 3 has a great kick behind her. Alex Nguyen in there as well. Come down to who can time up this finish. Nguyen 39-28 to Yunkis' 39-33. A very close consolation final. Third place Hudson Helton in lane number 6 from Plainfield, 39-49 her time.
Championship final in lane 1, McKenna Wilson, 12-year-old from Brownsburg Swim Club. Lane 2 is Flory Boslett, 12-year-old from Pike Township. Lane 3 is CJ Petrosky, 12-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 4 is Brenley Bonas, 12-year-old from Duneland. Lane 5 is Naomi Boland, 12-year-old from Fort Wayne Swim Team. Lane 6, Claire Kate, 12-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 7, Maya Turfler, 12-year-old from Munster Swim Club. Lane 8, Peyton Walker, 12-year-old from the Southeastern Swim Club of Fishers. Lily Christensen holds the meet record, and association record, both set in 2018. 33.95 the meet record, 33.89 the association record. Bana is the number 1 qualifier this morning from Duneland in a time of 36.82.
So Banas was a little bit over a second faster than everybody else in this field. She was the only swimmer under 38 seconds, and she was 36.82. So eyes on the middle of the pool. It's Banas' race. Here in the beginning, Naomi Boland out as front as well, and CJ Petrowski from Fishers is in 3. Really quick tempo in the middle of the pool from Banas. She is ripping through the water here in this 50 breaststroke, and she's not going to lose this one. She's going to be your state champion in 36.20. A drop from this morning of 6/10. Second, Naomi Boland, and she snuck under 38 and 37 seconds with a 36.98. A great swim for the Fort Wayne 12-year-old. Third place was CJ Petrowski, 37.21. So best time for all 3 of those ladies in the middle of the pool. A great championship final as we move on to the boys 50 breaststroke.
Event 80, 11, 12-year-old boys 50-meter breaststroke will again start on the north end of the pool in the consolation final in heat 1, lane 1. Our consolation final here, Josh Lawrence, 12-year-old from the Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 2 is Dylan Van Sant, 12-year-old from Indiana Swim Club. Lane 3, Takaru Wheatley, 12-year-old from Riverside. Lane 4 is Nathan Hollandoner, 12-year-old Pendleton Swim Club. Lane 5, Aaron Trin, 12-year-old Carmel Swim Club. Lane 6, Eric Yu, 12-year-old from Boilermaker. Lane 7, Jackson Russell, 11-year-old from Plainfield Community. And lane 8 is Braden Wright, 12-year-old from the Noblesville Swim Club.
So there goes Hollandoner. He's the top qualifier in this respective heat for the 11-12 boys 50 breaststroke. He's out front, hugging that lane line right next to Takaru Wheatley from Riverside. Looks like Hollandoner has the edge here. Van Zant in lane 2 is also out there as well. So it's going to go Hollander first place in the consolation final, 37.62. Second, Dylan Van Zant, 38.21. Third was up there in lane number 1, Josh Lawrence from Southeastern.
In the championship final in lane 1, it will be Nick McCoy, 12-year-old from the Greenwood Gators. Lane 2, Tommy Cosbade, 12-year-old from Valparaiso Swim Club. Lane 3, Donald Zhao, 12-year-old Carmel Swim Club. Lane 4 is James Hinch, 12-year-old from the Fort Wayne Swim Team. Lane 5, Gabriel Wang, 12-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 6 is Tate Knobloch, 12-year-old from Summit City Aquatics. Lane 7, Evan Ray, 12-year-old from Pendleton Swim Club. Lane 8, Matthew Quadros, 12-year-old from Center Grove Aquatic. Lancaster holds the meet record. Carter Lancaster, 2019, when it was set, 32.85. Rance, the association record, set in 2000, 32.61. Hence, qualifying number 1 this morning in a time of 34.95 here for this championship final.
So an impressive prelim swim from Hench, getting under 35 seconds. Gabriel Wang was the second fastest qualifier in 35.75. So about 0.8 of a second separated first and second this morning in the prelims. But in prelims, it's circle seated. So most likely, Hench and Wang did not swim next to each other this morning. They probably won their own respective heats. So in the finals, they're right next to each other to battle for that state championship.
One length of the pool here, breaststroke.
They're off in a really quick reaction time from Gabriel Wang in lane number 5, and great underwater work from Hench in 4. Really powerful kick from James Hench. We've seen him already this weekend perform well in the breaststroke events. No different here in the 50. He looks to have a body length lead over Gabriel Wang here with about 15 meters to go. Dominating this 50 breast is James Hench from Fort Wayne. He's going to win this thing. Great battle across the pool for third. The two Carmel swimmers will be second and third in 35.1 and 35.4. Fourth, Tommy Cosbade up in lane number 4 from Valparaiso.
So the 33.96 for Hinch. Takes that championship final. Next up, event 81, 13-14 girls 200-meter breaststroke. We'll return back down to the south end of the pool for these races. In the consolation final in lane 1, it will be Lillian Tabor, 13-year-old from the Washington Township Swim Club. Lane 2, Kaylee Spicer, 14-year-old from Washington Township. Lane 3, Scarlett Olson, 13-year-old from the Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 4, Kayla Barr, 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 5 is Nina Sherny, 13-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 6 will be Kaylee Schotting, 14-year-old from Franklin Regional. Lane 7, McCartney Mailer, 14-year-old from Summit City. And in lane 8, Sarah McPherson, 14-year-old from Washington Township. So Washington Township Swim Club has 3 swimmers here in this consolation final. This will be 4 lengths of the pool breaststroke.
Showing off their depth in the breaststroke training group, Washington Township with swimmers in lanes 1, 2, and 8. This will be your consolation final in the girls 13-14 200 breaststroke with the championship final to follow. These swimmers qualified 16th through 9th this morning. Kayla Barr in lane number 4, 2:54.73 was her time. To grab lane number 4, it took a 2:59.58 to make it back this evening in the 200 breaststroke. And the 200 breaststroke's all about patience. We just watched the 50 breaststroke for the 11-12s. We saw both champions have a very fast stroke rate, taking a lot of strokes, pulling a lot of water, and cutting through the pool here at the IU Natatorium. The 200 breaststroke's going to be a little bit different. You're going to see each stroke lengthened out a little bit longer, more emphasis on the kick, more emphasis on the front of the stroke, trying to press that head back down into a streamlined position. Breaststroke's all about moving in and out of a straight line. A straight body line is going to get you down the pool the fastest. So who can be in that position the longest, who can use that kick to shoot those arms forward and have that effective technical piece to this breaststroke race. It looks like your leaders are in the middle of the pool. That's Barr from Carmel in 4, Cheerney from Zionsville in 5, and Olson from Southeastern. in lane number 3. And here comes Schotting from Franklin in lane number 6. She's creeping up on the leaders as well. It's a 4-swimmer race here through 100 meters. Only 0.8 of a second separate first through fourth, and that could be a full stroke or breaststroke in this 200. So those 0.8 could really just come from the timing of the turn. So every little detail in this race is important. How can you time up those turns to make sure you're finishing on a full stroke? How can you finish the race on a full stroke, not a short or a long stroke? Always important in this race. Schotting looks to be like she's in a great position here, as is Tierney, Barr, and Olsen. Lanes 3 through 6 here, all even heading into the last turn.
Yeah, 4 athletes with a chance to win here in the final 50 meters of a 200-meter breaststroke race. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 44.7 for both Olsen and Schotting. They're first and third. Barr was second, just a couple tenths ahead of Scarlett Olsen. A great underwater pullout from Schotting, Barr, and Olsen have pulled them ahead of Tierney in lane number 5, but she's still in it. Just depends who can tempo up here at the end of this 200 breaststroke. Looks like Olsen is doing so in lane number 3. They're crossing that 15-meter threshold to go. Looks like Olsen and Barr are battling it out here for this win in lanes 3 and 4. Who's going to be on stroke to finish? Here comes Kayla Barr. With the quick stroke at the end, it's Kayla Barr. 2:51.97, 3 seconds faster than this morning, and a great swim from Scarlett Olsen in lane 3 to grab second in the heat in 2:52.05. Third was Schotting from Franklin, 2:53.08, and fourth was Tierney. Impressively swam race from Kayla Barr and Scarlett Olsen. Also the rest of the heat here in the girls 13-14 200 breast as we get set for the championship final.
In the championship final in lane 1, it will be Frankie Ramey, 14-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 2, Izzy Melvin, 13-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 3, Maddie Moretz, 14-year-old from Valparaiso Swim Club. Lane 4, Molly Sweeney, 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 5, Whitney Anderson, 13-year-old Valparaiso Swim Club. Lane 6 is Gabby Irvin, 13-year-old from Greater Evansville. Lane 7, Brindley Yoder, 13-year-old from the Concord Swim Club. Lane 8, Addie Zakali, 14-year-old from the South Bend Swim Club. Meet record set in 2013 by Lauren Edelman, 2:35.38. Molly Sweeney holding the association record set this year, 2:34.05. And Sweeney in this race as the number 1 qualifier.
So Molly was 2:39 this morning. Her best time being that 2:34 association record. A scary fast time, 4 seconds under the junior national qualifying standard, and she's in this race. She's in lane 4. Brindley Yoder in lane number 7 already swam the mile this evening and now turning to the breaststroke event, which she's very, very talented in. But Molly Sweeney is not going to lose this race. She is probably one of the best young 200 breaststrokers in the entire country. She's not even probably fully tapered for this meet, as she's going to be competing in Irvine, California at the Junior National Championships in just about a week and a half from now. So this is a warm-up meet for her. This is a warm-up swim in this 200 breaststroke. She's going to try to get as close to that 2:34 as possible. She's got 2 Valparaiso teammates next to her on her right and her left with Moretz and Whitney Anderson in lanes 3 and 5 respectively. Moretz had a great 100 breaststroke. She was second to Molly Sweeney's teammate Lucy Enoch, who is not in this race. And Molly's out front in 33.67. Second was Moretz in 34.65. And if I'm Maddie Moretz, I'm trying to stay as close as possible to Molly Sweeney for this entire race, because that's how I'm going to get closer to that junior national cut. She's doing just that. Sweeney and Moretz a little bit ahead of the rest of the field here so far. 38.91 for Sweeney, 39.52 for Moretz. Third place at the 100 is Brindley Yoder from Concord, down in lane number 7. She's showing off her endurance after swimming the 1500.
Yeah, might be a good battle for third, but Sweeney and Moretz running away from the rest of the field right now.
That's exactly what they're doing, Eric. Molly Sweeney extending her lead, and Maddie Moretz is running away from that battle for third. There's a fantastic battle for third between lanes 2, 5, 6, and 7. It's Izzy Melvin up in lane number 2. Whitney Anderson in lane number 5 for Valpo. Gabby Irvin for Greater Evansville and Brindley Yoder for Concord. All 4 of those athletes are in this thing for the bronze medal, that 3rd place finish. Molly Sweeney's out front in 39.52, so she stayed under 40 seconds on that 50. Maddie Mareth, 41.38, another great split as well. 2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Brindley Yoder was the next fastest at 43.2. Molly's going to win this thing.
Meet record is 2:35.38.
She's coming in. It looks like she might have a shot at it, and she's going to break this record.
Yeah, that's going to be a new meet record.
She's going to go best time, 2:32.
Wow, 2:32.32. New meet and association record for Molly Sweeney. She breaks her own association record.
Well, that's a great little prep swim for Molly Sweeney before juniors. That's a huge smile on Molly Sweeney's face, the 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club, and a fantastic swim for Maddie Mareth. She only missed the junior cut by 0.2 of a second. I mean, she dropped how much time? 6 seconds?
Yes.
Wow.
2:38.41 the time for Mareth, who got second. Gabby Irvin got third. She won that battle for third in lane 6. 2:43.91 was her time.
So a new meet record and association record for Molly Sweeney, the 3rd one we've seen for this meet this weekend. And now we're going to move on to the boys, 13-14 200 breaststroke.
Event 82, consolation final. In lane 1, Kataro Nagai, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 2, Preston Lamp, 13-year-old from Newburgh Sea Creatures. Lane 3, Quentin Upshaw, 13-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 4 is Brogan Wilson, 14-year-old from East Central Swim Team. Lane 5 is Lucas Magalanes, 14-year-old from Cardinal Community. Lane 6, Tristan Stivers, 14-year-old from the Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 7, Eli Roboloff, 14-year-old from Capital Aquatics. And in lane 8, Lucas Ackerman, 14-year-old from Franklin Regional.
Same thing as the girls' race here. These boys are going to try to stay long and strong towards the beginning of the race, and then they'll start to pick up that tempo on the way back on that back 100. So 2 heats of the 200 breaststroke for 13-14 boys, a consolation final followed by the championship final. And we got a very, very, very competitive 200 breaststroke here in this age group. 36.14, that's Preston Lamp from Newburgh Sea Creatures, the 13-year-olds out front here, but we have a very closely contested B final, and a lot can change in 200 meters of breaststroke, and we have 125 meters left to go in this one.
Yep, most of the field right together as they cross the halfway mark of this second 50 in the opening 100.
And you could say 4 guys, 5 guys, even 6 guys are in contention for striking to win this heat in the consolation final. Looks like Kataro Nagai in lane number 1 from Carmel Swim Club could be leading after 100. And it will be Brogan Wilson followed by Kataro Nagai, just less than 1/10 of a second separating the 2 leaders. 3rd was Tristan Stivers in lane number 6 for Southeastern. And here comes Malangelis from Cardinal Community in lane number 5. So this is a close one. Looks like Brogan Wilson is taking control of the heat just a little bit, but Kataro Nagai in lane number 1 is also out there trying to challenge for this heat win in the consolation final. It looks like Wilson did cross under the flags first, so he's going to touch first at 150. 42-1 split. Magallanes, he was 42-0, so he's actually the fastest swimmer in the pool, and he's in lane 5 for Cardinal Community. And it looks like 6 swimmers are in this one.
Yeah, fantastic race to the finish here with a half a lap to go.
Everybody's in this one in this consolation final, the 13-14 200 breaststroke. Wilson's in control, but anything can happen in the last 8 meters. It's going to be a close finish for 1st through 6th across the board. Wilson's going to win. 40-point split. Cardinal Community, that's Malangelis in 5. Wow. And a 40.0 split from Preston Lamp to grab 5th. A really fun heat to get things started in the 200 breaststroke for the 13-14 boys.
242.16 for Wilson. 242.30 for Magallane, second. And 3rd place Kataro Nagy, 2:43.05, third place. Championship final now, 13-14 boys, 200-meter breaststroke. Lane 1, Grant Hibisky, 14-year-old from Summit City. Lane 2, Corey Hahn, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 3 is Brian Kwan, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 4, the top seed from prelims this morning, Alexander Rees, 14-year-old from Franklin Regional. Lane 5 is Will Shambly, 14-year-old from Westfield Aquatics. Lane 6 will be Ivan Bleistev, 14-year-old from the Concord Swim Club. Lane 7, Lane Monger, 14-year-old from the Noblesville Swim Club. And Lane 8, Luke Feller, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Tristan DeWitt holds the Meeting Association record established in 2016, the time 2:23.66. Rees qualifying number 1 this morning in the time of 2:33.98 for this championship final.
So an impressive record from Tristan DeWitt, about 10 seconds faster than Alexander Rees was this morning in 2:33. Based on his 100 breaststroke earlier in the meet, though, and his 400 IM, I would not be surprised to see a drop from Alexander in lane number 4 from Franklin. He's out quick, throwing his hands forward, trying to separate himself from the field immediately. And there's no surprise there. He was 2:33 this morning. Second best qualifier was 2:35, and then third fastest was 2:37. So a pretty sizable gap in the prelims from Alexander Rees and the rest of the field, but that can sometimes not always tell the tale of the event. We talked about it earlier in the 200 back. Sometimes people can have large drops in these 200s from prelims to finals. It's a great race for second here. Multiple swimmers across the pool. Lane 8, Luke Feller, is even in it for this second place spot. Feller, Bleistev in 6, Brian Kwan in 3, Corey Hahn in 2, and Grant Hibisky. Feller's going to be second at the 100 in lane number 8. He was 4th in the 100 breaststroke.
So he's going out after it. Second at the halfway mark. We'll see if he can make it hold up.
Yeah, you got it. Grant Hibisky was top 8 in the 100 breast, as was Alexander Rees. He was the champion in the 100 breast. And Lane Monger, he swam the 800 earlier this evening, so showing off his versatility as well. We've seen that commonality here. Saw some girls swim both the mile and the 200 breast, and now Lane Monger doubling up here on the mile, or the 800 rather, and the 200 breaststroke. And Alexander Rees, he's going for it. He's under 40 seconds on his third split. He's gonna win this race. He's way out there, and Luke Feller is as well in lane number 8.
Luke Feller having a heck of a swim in lane 8.
It's really impressive there. Qualifying 8th this morning and trying his best to hold on. Here comes the field, as they always do. Feller's trying to hold on for dear life down in lane 8, and here comes the rest of the field. Here's Brian Kwan, the 200 fly champion. Also Bleistev. Feller, 2:35 is second.
Rees with a 2:30.82 winning time.
He's happy about that. Another state championship for Alexander Rees. And third was Ivan Bleistev. He came home in 39.5. A great last split for him. And fourth was Will Chambly in lane number 5. Really impressive fourth 50s all across this field.
Luke Feller's second place time 2:35.16. The third place time for Bleistev was 2:35.62.
So Luke Feller grabs that sectional time standard. Will Chambly had that sectional time standard in prelims, so lots of different incredible swims in this 200 breaststroke as we get set for our next awards break here this evening. Just one more block of individual swimming tonight, the 11 through 14 200 freestyle. The 11-12-50 backstroke, always a fun one, and we'll finish with some relays.
Awards break coming up here with Mike Miles. Awards presentations, 13, 14-year-olds in the 200 backstroke, 11, 12-year-olds in the 50 breaststroke, and the 13, 14-year-olds in the 200 breaststroke should be our awards presentations here in a moment with Mike Miles. Then after that, we resume swimming. Events 83 and 84, 11, 12-year-olds in the 200 free, 13, 14-year-olds in the same event. Then 88 and 88, 11, 12-year-olds in the 50 backstroke. and events 89 and 90 will follow. 13, 14-year-olds in the fastest seeded heat of the 400 freestyle relay. Then we wrap things up with the 11, 12-year-olds in the 200 freestyle with the fastest seeded heats there in the time finals for those 13, 14, 400 free relays and 11, 12-year-olds in the 200 free relays. Those are the time finals, just one heat of time finals. The other heat swam with prelims this morning, but anybody can score points from those swims this morning and take the overall win if their time was fast enough. And we saw some very fast times in the 11, 12-year-olds in the 200 free relays. Some times, I think, in both the girls and the boys race that would have them be seated in the top two, amongst the top two seeded teams if they were swimming tonight. So we'll see how those times compare when we get to that point. Here's Mike Miles.
13 girls, 200 backstroke. 8th place for Carmel Swim Club, Sophia Floyd. 7th, South Bend Swim Club, Addie Zakele. 6th place from Carmel Swim Club, Lucy Enoch. 5th place from Carmel, Faith Gorey. 4th place from Carmel, Kayla Barr. Your 3rd place finisher from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Emily Wolf. 2nd place from Dunland Swim Club, Adeline Lofner. And the 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 13-14 girls, 200 backstroke from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Addison Carlisle, in a time of 2:21.76. Thank you, ladies. Top 8 finishers, 13-14 boys, 200 backstroke coming up now. In 8th place from Avon Community Swim Team, Drew Uni. 7th from Carmel Swim Club, Corey Hahn. 6th place from Carmel Swim Club, Riley Sweeney. 5th from Summit City Aquatics, Jackson Pyle. 4th from Carmel Swim Club, Carter Hadley. Finishing 3rd from Carmel, William Lathrop. Placing 2nd from Center Grove Aquatic Club, Henry Linus. And the 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion and 13-14 boys 200 back from Carmel, Lewis Sang, at a time of 2:09.65. Now on the awards podium, the top 8 in 11 and 12 girls 50 breaststroke. 8th place from Brownsburg Swim Club, McKenna Wilson. 7th from Munster, Mia Turfler. 6th from Southeastern Swim Club, Peyton Walker. Fifth from Pike Township, Flory Buslett. Fourth from Carmel Swim Club, Claire Kate. Third from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, C.J. Petrowski. Second place for Fort Wayne Swim Team, Naomi Boland. And the 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 11 and 12 girls, 50 breaststroke. From Duneland Swim Club, Brentley Bonez, at a time of 36.20. On the awards podium, the top 8, 11 and 12 boys, 50 breaststroke. 8th place from Greenwood Gators, Nick McCoy. 7th from Pendleton, Evan Ray. 6th from Center Grove Aquatic, Matthew Quadros. 5th from Summit City Aquatics, Tate Knobluck. 4th from Valparaiso Swim Club, Tommy Cospade. The 3rd place finisher from Carmel, Donald Zhao. 2nd from Carmel Swim Club, Gabriel Wang. The 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion and 11 and 12 boys, 50 breaststroke. From Fort Wayne Swim Team, James Hench, in a time of 33.96. On the awards podium, the top 7 finishers, 13-14 girls, 200 breaststroke. 7th place from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Frankie Ramey. 6th from South Bend Swim Club, Addie Zakeli. 5th from Irish Aquatics, Izzy Melvin. 4th from Valparaiso, Whitney Anderson. 3rd place from Concord Swim Club, Brindley Yoder. 2nd place from Greater Evansville, Gabby Irwin. And the 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 13-14 girls, 200 breaststroke from Carmel, Molly Sweeney, and a time of 2:32.32. One more award presentation to go, just waiting for that printed result to come for me, or come to me. 13-14 boys, 200 backstroke, I'll have in just a moment. On the awards podium, the top 8 finishers. 13-14 boys, 200 breaststroke. 8th place from Summit City Aquatics, Grant Nabisky. 7th from Noblesville Swim Club, Lane Monger. 6th from Carmel Swim Club, Corey Hahn. 5th from Carmel, Brian Kwan. 4th from Westfield Aquatics, Will Chamley. 3rd place from Concord Swim Club, Ivan Blistev. 2nd place from Carmel, Luke Feller. The 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 13-14 boys, 200 breaststroke from Franklin Regional Swim Team, Alexander Reese. The time of 2:30.82.
That's going to conclude this awards break here. And we're going to return to swimming here shortly. Event 83, 11-12 girls, 200-meter freestyle. Consolation final followed by a championship final here, set by prelim swims this morning. In the consolation final, in lane 1, Haley Hunter, 11-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 2 will be Audrina Eads, a 12-year-old from Northridge Area Swimming Association. Lane 3, Kinsey Bogars, 12-year-old from Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 4, Allie Amston, 11-year-old from Noblesville Swim Club. Lane 5, Amelia Bushman, 12-year-old from Munster Swim Club. Lane 6 is Brenley Bonas, 12-year-old from Duneland Swim Club. Lane 7, Maddie Moore, 12-year-old from Plainfield Community. And lane 8, Maya Turfler, 12-year-old from the Munster Swim Club. This will be 4 lengths at the pool. The 200-meter freestyle consolation final for the 11-12 girls.
The third of 3 200s contested tonight for the 13-14s. A lot of these athletes doing more than one of them. Heat 1 in the water now in the 200 freestyle, and in this one, anymore, this thing is almost like a sprint. It's a mid-distance freestyle event, but you have to swim strong throughout the entire race. Use that start to have a great first 50 split, and then you want to be as consistent as possible on those next 3 splits, and even tried to come down a little bit on the last 2 if possible. Brenley Bonner is down there in lane 6. She just won the 11-12 50 breaststroke, so she's back in the water for some freestyle. Leader is Bushman in lane number 5 from Munster, 32-42 her split. Close bunch of swimmers in the middle of the pool. But there can be some shifts that occur in this race, similarly to what we saw in the 200 back and the 200 breast. Looks like there's a pair of Munster teammates in this heat. Bushman in 5, she's leading the race. Just kidding, it's her teammate Turfler in lane number 8.
Up at the bottom of your screen.
We just saw a swimmer in the 13-14 boys 200 breast grab 2nd place out of lane 8. So you cannot count out any lane in the pool in this final session. They're bunched up now in the consolation final of this 200 free. I don't know if anybody in the middle can see Mia Turfler from Munster.
Final turn coming. Let's see if Turfler's still in the lead in 8. She
Indeed.
is.
Full second ahead of the rest of the field. Lanes 4, 5, and 6 pretty close together, including lanes 2 and 3 at this point. Looks like Mia Turfler is going to try and take this thing. The rest of the field's going to start creeping up. Here comes Audrina Eads in lane number 2 from Northridge. She was 6th at the 150, and she's trying to make a run for 2nd, as is Hamsden in lane number 4 for Noblesville.
Turfler's going to take the consolation final out of lane 8.
How about that?
Time of 2:21.97.
So she was the last one to qualify for finals this morning in 2:26, and she put up a 2:21.97. Great swim from the Munster 12-year-old. That time would have qualified her for the A final. Impressive swim there out of lane number 8.
Hamsden second, 2:22.88. Third place is Bushman. in a time of 2:23.60, and that's moving up and scoring some points for your team, for the Munster Swim Club, for Turfer, when you qualify the 16th in final position to consolation final, and you move up and get the maximum amount of points you can score for your team in that heat.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, moving up is important, and if you qualify 8th, 16th place in this consolation final is worth 1 point. She just jumped all the way up to first position in that heat, increasing the point total for her team. That's the way to do it on the last night of finals.
Championship final now in lane 1, Abby Jane Averett, 12-year-old from the Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 2 is Molly Barnes, 12-year-old from Irish Aquatics. In lane 3, Stella Zerlini, 12-year-old from Newburgh Sea Creatures. Lane 4, Ellie Clark, 12-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 5 is Riley Copper, 12-year-old from the Crown Point Swim Club. Lane 6, Natalie Powers, 12-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 7, Christina Browning, 12-year-old from Irish Aquatics. And in lane 8, we have Sarah Claire Brochures, 11-year-old from the Boonville Dolphins. Emily Wolf holds the meet record set last year, 2:09.35. Elkins holds the association record established in 1976, 2:06.71. Clark is our top qualifier this morning in a time of 2:16.33.
Yeah, so Ellie Clark in lane number 4. She's won 5 events at these championships. So we talked about the race for High Point during the 10 and under session. Ellie Clark is in control of that one, and she's the 12-year-old from Carmel Swim Club in lane number 4. Riley Copper right next to her from Crown Point as well. Has had a great meet, as has Natalie Powers, Clark's teammate from Carmel Swim Club. Ellie's going to lead this thing, 30.68. Actually, she's behind Molly Barnes, who's had some great freestyle swims earlier this meet. Molly Barnes has been top 8 in the 50, the 100, and the 400. So no surprise that she's in it in this one in the 200 as well.
Yeah, I think Molly was actually the top-seeded swimmer in prelims this morning in that last circle-seeded heat.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me, as look at Molly out there in front currently through 2 laps of the pool. She's going to flip in 104.83, a very impressive first 100 from Molly Barnes. And here comes Ellie Clark and Riley Copper. This is going to be a great race down the stretch. Both Barnes and Copper have a great meet, as has Ellie Clark. This 200's all about strategy. There goes Molly Barnes, big-time kick. Lots of white water in lane number 2, and she's got some clean water to her left and her right as well. And she's going to lead through 150 meters, a wire-to-wire lead for Molly Barnes in lane number 2. And they're breathing at each other. Ellie Clark's breathing to her left, and Molly Barnes is breathing to her right. So this is going to be a fun one with 25 meters to go.
Barnes inching ahead.
It looks like Barnes is definitely in control of this one. She's through 15 meters to go, the fastest. And she's increased her tempo. Molly Barnes, lane 2. 2:13.51, 2:13.82 for Ellie Clark. Third was Riley Copper in lane number 5 and 2:17.06. Fantastic swim from the Irish Aquatics 12-year-old. She got a lane in finals. It didn't matter what lane it was. She got that lane and secured the ability to race for that state championship, and she took full advantage of it up in lane number 2.
Barnes second, Clark third, and Copper third. We'll see them on the top 3 positions of the awards podium here a little bit later. Event 84, 11-12 boys 200-meter freestyle consolation final. In lane 1, Max Barnes, 12-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 2, Kai Paredes, 12-year-old from Riviera. Lane 3 will be Isaiah Vose, 12-year-old from the Noblesville Swim Club. Lane 4, Eric Yu, 12-year-old from the Boilermaker Aquatics. His teammate is in lane 5, Austin Pritz, also a 12-year-old. Lane 6, Takiro Wheatley, 12-year-old from Riverside Aquatics. Lane 7, Noah Sharp, 12-year-old from Flashes Aquatics. And then lane 8, Everett Heiser, an 11-year-old from the Zionsville Swim Club.
So consolation final here of the 11-12 boys 200 freestyle. Similar to the girls, you want to go out fast and then try to hold on as best you can. 31.4 for Eric Yu in lane number 4. He's right next to his teammate, Austin Pritz, so I'm sure they've done some freestyle practices together throughout the season. Racing through 75 meters now in this 200 freestyle B final. Isaiah Vose coming into the mix for Noblesville in lane 3 as well. A very closely contested heat from lanes 1 through 7 at this point in this heat. Really could go to anybody. Noah Sharp moved up from Flashes Aquatics in lane number 7.
Bose had the lead at the halfway mark in lane 3 from Noblesville.
Yeah, thanks to that 34.90 split on that second 50. Looks like lanes 3, and that's Isaiah Vose, through lane 6, which is Wheatley. Or lane 7, rather. That's Noah Sharp. All 5 of those swimmers are fighting for this consolation final win. And Eric Yu has taken over the lead, 36.25. He's the fastest swimmer in the pool, followed by Vose in 36.43. He had a great turn there, great underwater work, and broke out using that momentum from the turn. It looks like Eric Yu is in control of this one with 15 meters to go. We'll see if Isaiah Vose has some fight left in the tank as Yu's teammate Austin Pritz start to move up in lane number 5.
The finish, it looks like it's going to be Yu, winning time for Eric Yu, 2:18.17.
Second was Isaiah Vose in lane number 3 from Noblesville, 2:19.43. And Austin Pritz with that 36.0 split moved up into third, 2:21.6 his time as we get set for the championship final in the boys 11-12 200 freestyle.
In lane 1, it will be Harry Brunner, 12-year-old from the Concord Swim Club. Lane 2, Donald Zhao, 12-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 3, Joshua Pendleton, 12-year-old from Club Olympia. Lane 4 will be James Hintz, 12-year-old from the Fort Wayne Swim Team. Lane 5, Peter Kovacs, 12-year-old from Indiana Swim Club. Lane 6 is Austin Carlisle, 12-year-old from Fishers Area. Lane 7, Michael Zhao, 12-year-old from Avon Community. And lane 8, Sawyer Wells, 12-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Wicksoric holds the meet and association record set in 1998, 2:03.29. Your top qualifier here this evening, James Hench, qualifying a time of 2:13.01.
So here's the championship final, the 200 free, and this is a very competitive heat. Just from looking at the psych sheets, or the finals heat sheets rather, Joshua Pendleton, he's a state champion. James Hench, he's a state champion. Peter Kovacs in lane 5, guess what? He's a state champion as well. So all of these guys in the middle of the pool have tasted that gold medal, what it feels like to win that state championship, and they're fighting for this one as well. James Hench was out fast, 28.5, but he's followed by Peter Kovacs, 29.2. Now, who's going to have that back 100 speed, that all-important second half of this race? James Hench is going for it here. He's way out there, over a body length ahead of Peter Kovacs. 100, James Hench. That's impressive. The record is 2:03, so him going out in 00 is no joke, especially considering since he went 2:13 this morning. If he can hold on to this pace, he's going to have a great swim here this evening. I almost called Peter Kovacs by his brother's name, David. He competed at Senior State last weekend. Lots of little siblings in this one. Austin Carlisle swimming as well. And there goes James Hench, 33 split on the third 50, so he's in great shape. He might mess around and break 2:10 here on this 200 freestyle, which would be a fantastic time to win this meet. And here comes Kovacs and Pendleton. Joshua Pendleton had a great 400 freestyle, but I think James Hench went for it just a little too much here. Pendleton might mess around and grab the second position here. Peter Kovacs is holding down third, but here comes Harry Brunner.
And Hench goes a 2:07.94 to take the win.
Wow. 6 seconds faster than this morning. That is a fantastic swim for James Hench. He went for it at the beginning, going out 100 in the first 100, and he was rewarded with that 207. Second place was Pendleton, and third was Peter Kovacs, right ahead of Harry Brunner in lane number 1. Second place time, 2:12.09. Third place, 2:13.15. And then Brunner was also 2:13 and 2:13.41 as we get set for the 13-14 girls 200 freestyle.
In the consolation final, in lane 1 will be Lucy Enoch, 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 2 is Frankie Ramey, 14-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 3 will be Maris Williams, 13-year-old from the Fort Wayne swim team. Lane 4, Sophia Floyd, 13-year-old Carmel Swim Club. Lane 5 is Faith Gorey, 13-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 6, Lila Theriak, 14-year-old from Mooresville area. Lane 7, Tegan Werner, 14-year-old from Duneland. And lane 8, Annabelle Frankie, 14-year-old from the Fort Wayne swim team.
Yep, so Faith Gorey, she was second in the 100 freestyle. She's in lane 5 of this consolation final, so she'll be in this one. Lucy Enoch's your 100 breaststroke champion, swimming an off event here in the 200 freestyle. She was 9th in the 400 free, and Sophia Floyd was 6th in the 400 yesterday. So a great mix of swimmers here. All 8 have impressive times in the morning. It took a 14:45 to make it back. And Sophia Floyd was the fastest in this heat this morning in 2:12.29. That's a 13-year-old from Carmel Swim Club in lane number 4. Looks like Gorey and Floyd in 4 and 5, 2 training partners from Carmel, are out in front in this one. Lila Theriak, who's had a fantastic meet as well in lane number 6 from Mooresville area, is also in it as well. Only 2/10 separating first through third here. Tegan Warner in lane number 7 from Duneland creeping up, and so is Annabelle Frankie in lane number 8. He's got a great race in heat number 1. This consolation final of the 13-14 girls 200 freestyle. I think Gorey's out front here through 150 meters, and she is in 136.
Ahead of Floyd.
Well, second through 5th, only separated by about a second and a half, so a lot can happen here in the final 50 meters. Looks like Gorey has taken over the lead. Sophia Floyd trying to catch her, and so is Theriak in lane number 6. Here comes Lucy Enoch in lane number 1 as well.
Looks like the wind's going to go to Gorey in lane 5 in a time of 2:10.86.
Yep, 34.06 her final split to secure the win in 2:10.86. Second was Sophia Floyd in 2:11.36, and Theriak got in there for third with a 33 split on the end there, 2:11.69, followed by Lucy Enoch in lane number 1, 2:12.29. She had a 33 split on the way home as well.
Championship final now in lane 1, Maris Emmert, 14-year-old from Boilermaker Aquatics. Lane 2, Ava Metzger, 14-year-old from the Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 3, Emily Wolf, 13-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 4, Addison Carlisle, 14-year-old from Fishers area. Lane 5 is Katie Brenneman, 14-year-old from the Concord Swim Club. Lane 6, Sabrina Ledwith, 14-year-old Carmel Swim Club. Lane 7, Molly Sweeney, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. And in lane 8, Emma Swartzweger, 14-year-old from Fishers area. Norden set the meet record in 2014, 2:03.85. Shackle holds the association record set last year. Alex Shackle set that record with a time of 2:02.30. Carlisle qualifying number 1 this morning in a time of 2:07.62.
An exciting heat here. The meet record holder for 11-12 girls is Emily Wolf. She's in lane 3. Katie Brenneman won the mile earlier this evening. She's in lane 5. And Molly Sweeney was the 400 champion last night, and she just set the association record in the 200 breaststroke and one of the fastest times in 13-14 history. So this is a really fun race. Schwartfager as well. She was top 4 in the mile this evening. So was Sabrina Ledwith. She was in there earlier in the 200 backstroke. Looks like Brenneman and Sweeney are going to be out front. No surprises here early. Sweeney 28.9, followed by Brenneman's 29.0. Just a tenth separating the two leaders, and Wolf is right there as well. So is Addison Carlisle, who won the 200 backstroke earlier tonight. So we've had 3 13-14 events this evening. Katie Brenneman won one of them. Addison Carlisle won the second. Molly Sweeney won the third. So a very talented heat here. Everybody's worlds coming together in this 200 freestyle. Katie Brenneman, Molly Sweeney, less than a tenth separating the two leaders. Addison Carlisle in third and 101.69 right behind them. It's going to be a race on the way home in this fourth 50. I'm not going to be able to call this one until the very end. Really technically sound strokes from Sweeney, Brenneman, Carlisle. Your three leaders are trying to extend their lead. Sweeney's going to touch first at the 150, 132.86. That 31 split has slingshot her forward in front of Brenneman and Carlisle. And there goes Molly Sweeney. Wow. An impressive back 100 from Molly Sweeney. She did the same thing in the 400 last night, Eric.
That's the case. Great race between Carlisle and Brenneman for second. Molly Sweeney is going to take the win here. Championship final, 13-14 girls, 200 freestyle in a time of 2:04.82.
Great race for fourth as well. Lots of great races in between the race. Fourth was Emily Wolf. Fifth, Ava Metzger. Second went to Katie Brenneman in 2:07.16. Third was Addison Carlisle in 2:07.62. So great swims there from Carlisle and Brenneman. Fourth was Emily Wolf, 2:09.13. And fifth was Ava Metzger in 2:09.48. 5 swimmers under that 2:10 barrier. Really impressive heat there in the 13-14 girls 200 freestyle.
Now we move to event 86, 13-14 boys 200-meter freestyle consolation final. In lane 1, Jake Zishka, 14-year-old from Summit City. Lane 2, Ethan Press, 14-year-old unattached from Franklin Regional. Lane 3, Eddie Zhu, 13-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 4, Riley Sweeney, 14-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 5, Charles Rennie, 14-year-old unattached swimmer. Lane 6, Deacon Smith, 14-year-old from Northwoods Area Swimming Association. Lane 7, Alex Koo, 13-year-old from Fishers Area. Lane 8, Will Shambly, 14-year-old from Westfield Aquatics.
Charles Rennie is wasting no time here on this first 50. He's out in 28.65. And Jake Zishka for Summit City's out in 29.35. He's in lane number 1. Pretty close heat here. Every single swimmer out in under 30 seconds. And Will Chambly was right there in 30.2. And he just swam the 200 breaststroke. So a great dirty double here for Will Chambly in lane number 8. Here goes Rainey in lane number 5. He's out front, but Ethan Prices and Jake Zishka are right there as well. So is Alex Koo from Fishers Area. Rainey looks to be control of this one, but here comes the rest of the field. Riley Sweeney was the top qualifier in this heat. He was 6th at the 100. And it looks like he's moving way up on this third 50.
Final turn coming up here. Consolation final, 13-14 boys, 200 free. And Rennie still out in front in lane 5.
Yeah, and Eddie Zhu and Riley Sweeney were 32s on that 50. So fastest 2 swimmers in the pool are in lanes 3 and 4. But Rainey is holding on to that lead. He does not want to give it up. He had a great first 100. Here comes the rest of the field. Everybody always trying to chase down the leader. Here comes Rainey. He's in control. Eddie Zhu trying to fight for the win. Great battle for third as well between Sweeney and Price. It's going to be Rainey followed by Eddie Zhu. Winning times 2:05.66. 2-second drop for the unattached Indiana 14-year-old.
Second place, Zhu, 2:06.22. Third place, Riley Sweeney in a time of 2:07.03.
Lots of drops there for everybody in that consolation final there in the 13-14 boys 200 freestyle, we get set for the championship final.
In lane 1, it will be Henry Linus, 14-year-old from Center Grove Aquatic. Lane 2 is Carter Hadley, 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 3, George Patterson, 14-year-old Valparaiso Swim Club. Lane 4, we have Lewis Zhang, 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 5, Brian Kwan, 14-year-old Carmel Swim Club. Lane 6, William Lathrop, 14-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 7, Matthew Weeks, 14-year-old from Irish Aquatics. Lane 8, Hamilton Gates, 13-year-old from Summit City Aquatics. Lancaster holds a meet record set in 2019, 156.38. Caden Lancaster, I believe. And Wyatt Davis, the meet record set in 2016, 153.57. Zhang qualifying number 1 this morning for Carmel, 158.17 the time.
So there goes George Patterson in lane number 3. He's going to run Lewis out front here in the 200 freestyle, and this is Lewis Zhang's bread and butter, along with the 400 free. His best time is 157. Meet record's 156. That has to be Lewis Zhang's goal here in this 200 freestyle. He won the 200 back with a great back 100. I would assume the same thing's going to happen here in the 200 freestyle. He went out in 2 minutes in the 400 last night. 2 minutes.
That's hauling.
That's 2 seconds faster than our next best qualifier in the 200 free. He faltered off a little bit in the back 200, but man, he went for it. He was 4:07 last night in the 400, which is an incredible time. And his best time here is 1:57. So that's the goal. He wants to break that meet record of his former teammate in Caden Lancaster. Here comes George Patterson, though. 57.39 for George Patterson. A great split. And Brian Kwan right there in lane number 5. He's under a minute as well. Top 5 swimmers all under 101. That's where you want to be. And Lewis Zhang is out there. He wants to stay under 30 seconds on this third 50. That's the goal. If you stay under 30 seconds, you're in the driver's seat. He's probably going to be right around 30 point. 30.2, there it is for Lewis Zhang. So he wants to do the same thing here. He wants to be 30.2 or faster in order to go best time and approach that record. George Patterson is on his hip, though. He's having a fantastic swim. He was 2:03 this morning. He's already swam the 800, and he's going to go best time if he can stick to Lewis Zhang's feet right here. Brian Keon, he's approaching in lane number 5. There's a great battle for 4th between Carter Hadley and Will Lathrop, Carmel teammates.
157.26 for Lewis Zhang to take the victory.
And then second place was George Patterson in 2:00.44. Incredible. And then 2:00 from Brian Kwan as well. So 3 swimmers under 2:01. It's a really impressive heat. And then a big drop for Lathrop, dropping 3/10 from this morning. And then Carter Hadley 5th, 2:03.95. So 5 swimmers under 2:04. A very fast heat there in the boys 200 freestyle. We're going to send it back down to the north side of the pool for some 50s here to close off the individual events at these championships.
Event 87, 11-12 girls 50-meter backstroke in the consolation final. In lane 1, it will be Maddie Moore, 12-year-old from Plainfield Community. Lane 2, Kinsey Bogards, 12-year-old from the Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 3, Lily King, 12-year-old from the Munster Swim Club. Lane 4 will be Harper Haney, 12-year-old from Greater Evansville. Lane 5, Brooklyn Neal, 12-year-old from Flashes Aquatics. Lane 6, Amelia Bushman, 12-year-old from the Munster Swim Club. Lane 7, Allie Ward, 12-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. And in lane 8, Annie Wolf, 12-year-old from the Washington Township Swim Club. So this will be one length of the pool backstroke here for the 11-12 girls.
Yep, 4 heats of individual events left to go in this meet. 2 heats of the 11-12 girls 50 back, and 2 heats of 11-12 boys 50 back, and then we'll get into some relays to close this thing out. Consolation final now in the 50 backstroke. You want to use that underwater work as much as possible. 15 meters max is the rule, and then you get up and swim. We're going to see some fast tempos here in the 50 back. We saw the 200 back earlier today, a little bit more relaxed. Nothing relaxed about a 50 backstroke.
Like it might be lane 3 here. Lily King at the wall, taking the win in a time of 34.72.
What a heat. It was too hard to call anything during that heat. It was back and forth. Lily King, Harper Haney from Greater Evansville in 4. 34.72 to 34.81. And third was 34.93, so just 0.2 between the top three swimmers. An excellent competitive heat here to get things started in the 50 backstroke.
Championship final in lane 1, Josie Trent, 11-year-old from Fort Wayne swim team. Lane 2, Eden Mock, 12-year-old from Elkhart United. Lane 3 is Mallory Billings, 12-year-old from Duneland. Lane 4 is Evie Papakronis, 12-year-old from the Southeastern Swim Club. Lane 5, Molly Barnes, 12-year-old Irish Aquatics. Lane 6, Natalie Powers, 12-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. Lane 7 is Isabel Patelli, 11-year-old from the Carmel Swim Club. And in lane 8, Allie Amsden, 11-year-old from the Noblesville Swim Club. Ripley Merritt holds the Meeting Association record, set in 2018, the time 30.93. Your top qualifier here for the championship final this morning, Papakronis swam at 33.34 to qualify number 1 by 1/100th of a second quicker than Molly Barnes.
And I would not be surprised if this race is that close. I can't say closer because 1/100th of a second is as close as it can get in the sport, but Molly Barnes is your 200 freestyle champion from earlier this evening. We'll see what she has left in the tank. Evie Papakronis had a fantastic start. She's out front in lane number 4. No Ellie Clark in this 50 back. She was the 100 and 200 champion, so we're going to have a different backstroker win the 50. And Papakronis is way out there. Still head position, fast hand speed, powerful kick. She's going to walk away with this one by a body length. Papakronis, 32.46. Wow, almost a second drop from this morning. Fantastic swim from the Southeastern 12-year-old.
Second place, Barnes, 33.29. And getting third in lane 7 was Fatelli in a time of 33.46.
It's set now for the boys event, the 11-12 50 backstroke. One lap of backstroke here to close things out here individually tonight.
Consolation final, lane 1, Andrew Schreier, 12-year-old from Brownsburg. Lane 2 is Lucas Steffen, 11-year-old from Franklin Regional. Lane 3, Aaron Trin, 12-year-old Carmel Swim Club. Lane 4, Patrick Collins, 12-year-old from Summit City. Lane 5, Jackson Russell, 11-year-old from Plainfield Community. Lane 6, Braden Wright, 12-year-old from the Noblesville Swim Club. Lane 7, Austin Pritz, 12-year-old from Boilermaker. And lane 8, David Sullivan, 12-year-old from the Lawrence Swim Team.
Right off the bat, looks like Jackson Russell from Plainfield had a fantastic start. And that's important in these 50s. If you have a great start, you're going to put yourself in position to win the heat. A great start will make the difference, and it looks like Patrick Collins has charged late, but Lucas Steffen in lane number 2 is also in this one. Yep. Stefan in lane number 2. Lucas Stefan from Franklin, 33.71. A great finish under the flags. Sometimes the last 5 meters are the most important 5 meters, and Stefan used all 5 of those meters, got in for the finish. Strong last stroke. Boom, heat winner in the consolation final.
Jackson Russell came home second in that consolation final. In the championship final in lane 1, it'll be Michael Zhao, 12-year-old from Avon Community. Lane 2, Everett Heiser, 11-year-old from Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 3, Gabriel Wang, 12-year-old from Carmel Swim Club. Lane 4, whether it's Harry Brunner, 12-year-old from the Concord Swim Club. Lane 5, Kai Paredes, 12-year-old from Riviera. Lane 6, Peter Kovacs, 12-year-old from Indiana Swim Club. Lane 7, Easton Zhao, 12-year-old from Indiana Swim Club. And in lane 8, we have Luis Sanchez Gonzalez, a 12-year-old from Decatur Township. Carter Lancaster holds the Meeting Association record of 29.08, set in 2019. Your number 1 qualifier from this morning's prelims is Harry Brunner in a time of 31.55.
So Brunner was a full second, exactly faster than Kai Paredes in lane number 5, but Paredes had a great start. The 12-year-old from Riviera Swim Club, and it looks like Brunner is taking control here through about 30 meters. He is swimming in a straight line. That's the fastest way to do this thing. Stay in the middle of the pool and not move, and that's exactly what Brunner's going to do. He's going to win this thing by a body length. Wow, 30.6. Great swim. Approaching that 30-second barrier from the 12-year-old from Concord. Second place was Paredes in 32.15. Then third was right next to him, Peter Kovacs in 32.65. So that does it for our individual events here at the Age Group Championships. We got relays coming up.
Yep, we're going to have another awards break coming up here from the voice of the pool deck. Mike Miles. Awards presentations 11, 12s, and 13, 14-year-olds in the 200 free, 11, 12s in the 50 backstroke, what you just saw. And then we're going to wrap things up with swimming. One-time final apiece for the 13, 14-year-olds. One-time final heat apiece for the 13, 14-year-olds in the 400 free. And then the same situation, 11, 12-year-olds in the 200 freestyle relay.
Yep, we'll have 4 different relays competing this evening, starting with the 13-14s. Usually you're going to end with the oldest athletes, but the 11-12s just swam the 50 back, so we're actually going to start with the 13-14 400 free relay, and we're going to finish things off with the 11-12 200 free relay, a fan favorite, just 4 laps of the pool, each 11, 12-year-old swimming 50 meters. We saw a lot of excitement in the 10 and under relays, so we're expected to see nothing less of that here in this final session as well.
And there were some outstanding times in the 11, 12-year-old 200 free relays this morning session. 2 times that would have those 2 teams that won those preliminary top time and from the preliminary heats within the top 2 seeded teams tonight.
Wow.
So they definitely could factor in for the overall championship.
100%. That's the interesting thing. That's the fun thing about timed finals. We saw it in every single 10 and under session, is that any single relay team from any heat could be the winner of the event. So, and we saw it yesterday. The Carmel Swim Club boys elected to swim their fastest relay in the morning session and ended up winning the whole thing. So that could be the case here on some of the relays. Like you said, for those 11-12 boys 200 freestyle relays, we could see multiple relays from this morning score a place on that podium over on the south side of the pool.
So we'll get things going with the awards session here in a moment with Mike Miles.
We'll have awards for the 200 freestyle for 11-12 girls and boys, 13-14 200 freestyle for both girls and boys, and then we'll finish things off with the 50 back awards. We just completed that 50 backstroke, and we'll see those awards, those top 8 finishers, before we get everything settled for all of our heats of relays to finish things out. Just 1 heat of relays for each event. The 8 top seeded teams will swim in finals. Everybody else swam this morning in prelims. Therese Love handing out the medals. Legendary coach from the Riviera Swim Club, our host club of these championships, getting ready for these 11-12 200 freestyle awards.
And while we have a second here, let's thank Carter Brahmas and Will Longfellow, our camera operators tonight, and let's turn things over to Mike Miles.
And now the award presentation in 11 and 12 girls 200 freestyle. In 8th place from Boonville Dolphins, Sarah Claire Brochures. 7th from Southeastern Swim Club, Abby Jane Everett. 6th from Irish Aquatics, Christina Browning. 5th from Newburgh Sea Creatures, Stella Zerlini. 4th from Carmel Swim Club, Natalie Powers. 3rd from Crown Point Swim Club, Riley Copper. 2nd place from Carmel Swim Club, Ellie Clark. The 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion in 11 and 12 girls 200 freestyle from Irish Aquatics, Molly Barnes, in a time of 2:13.51. Congratulations, ladies. And now the top 8 from 11 and 12 boys, 200 freestyle. In 8th place from Avon Community Swim Team, Michael Zhao. 7th from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Austin Carlisle. 6th from Carmel Swim Club, Donald Zhao. 5th from Irish Aquatics, Sawyer Wells. 4th from Concord Swim Club, Harry Bruner. 3rd from Indiana Swim Club, Peter Kovacs. 2nd from Club Olympia, Joshua Pendleton. And the 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion and 11 and 12 boys, 200 freestyle for Fort Wayne Swim Team, James Hench in a time of 2:07.94. The award presentation in 13-14 girls 200 freestyle. In 8th place from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Emma Schwertfeger. 7th from Carmel Swim Club, Sabrina Ledwith. 6th from Bodemakers Aquatics, Maris Emert. 5th from Zionsville Swim Club, Ava Metzger. 4th from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, Emily Wolf. 3rd for the Tigers, Addison Carlisle. 2nd place from Concord Swim Club, Katie Brenneman. The 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion, 13-14 girls, 200 free from Carmel Swim Club, Molly Sweeney, a time of 2:04.82. Award presentation now in 13-14 boys, 200 free. Eighth place from Irish Aquatics, Matthew Weeks. 7th from Center Grove Aquatic Club, Henry Linus. 6th from Summit City Aquatics, Hamilton Gates. 5th from Carmel Swim Club, Carter Hadley. 4th from Carmel Swim Club, William Lathrop. 3rd place from Carmel, Brian Kwan. 2nd place from Valparaiso Swim Club, George Patterson. The 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion and 13-14 boys 200 free from Carmel Swim Club, Lewis Sang, a time of 1:57.26. Coaches, don't forget, please pick up the individual ribbons for your consolation finalists. They're available for pickup in the West Control Room. Need to stop by before you leave this evening. Two more award presentations. Here we go with 11 and 12 girls, 50 backstroke. 8th place for Fort Wayne swim team, Josie Trent. 7th place from Noblesville Swim Club, Allie Amston. 6th from Elkhart United Aquatics, Eden Mock. 5th from Duneland, Mallory Billings. 4th from Carmel Swim Club, Natalie Powers. 3rd place from Carmel Swim Club, Isabel Fatelli. 2nd place from Irish Aquatics, Molly Barnes. The 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion at 11 and 12 girls, 50 backstroke from Southeastern Swim Club, Evie Papakronis in a time of 32.46. Final award presentation in this break. 11 and 12 boys, 50 backstroke. Eighth place from Avon Community Swim Team, Michael Zhao. 7th from Zionsville, Everett Heiser. 6th from Indiana Swim Club, Easton Zhao. 5th from Decatur Township Aquatic Club, Luis Sanchez Gonzalez. 4th from Carmel Swim Club, Gabriel Wang. 3rd from Indiana Swim Club, Peter Kovacs. 2nd place, Riviera Swim Team, Kai Paredes. The 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champion at 11 and 12 boys, 50 backstroke from Concord Swim Club, Harry Bruner in a time of 30.64.
All right, we're going to return to swimming here in a moment. I assume build some excitement here in the natatorium here as we're going to finish off with relays.
Here we
which
go.
is tradition at all of the Indiana Swimming Championship events. We finish off with relays. Usually it's the 400, but it'll be the 200-meter medley relays tonight. But we've got the 400. Usually it's the 400 free relays, but we've got the 200 free relays. They'll finish it up tonight. We're going to start with the 13-14 girls 400-meter freestyle relay here with the 3rd and final heat of time finals. It's top seeded heat. Top time from the morning swim here. Event 89, Fishers Area B, posting a 4:15:35. That's the time to beat. 3rd and final heat of time finals. In lane 1, it'll be Zionsville A, led off by Ava Metzger. Lane 2, Fort Wayne A, with Annabelle Frankie on leadoff. Lane 3, Concord A, led off by Maya Ernsberger. Lane 4, Carmel A, led off by Lucy Enoch. Lane 5, Fishers Area A, with Addison Carlisle on leadoff. Lane 6, Irish A, led off by Claire Dober-Denny. Lane 7, Carmel B, led off by Sabrina Ledwith. And lane 8, Duneland A, led off by Tegan Warner. Your meet in association record set in 2012 by Carmel Swim Club is 3:56.96.
Mike Miles, voice of the pool deck, building some excitement
Yes.
there before the relays. I see all the girls behind the blocks giving each other high fives, getting pumped up. Exciting stuff here to end off these Age Group State Championships with a bang. Your two favorites here are going to be Carmel and Fishers. Fishers leading with their fastest leg and Addison Carlisle. Carmel Swim Club leading with Lucy Enoch. They really don't have a weak leg on this relay. 3:56.96 is the record. So you got to average under a minute here. And it should be interesting to see if Fishers and Carmel can approach that record, because I have a feeling that there's a chance here. It's an old one, 2012, but Addison Carlisle's out 59, Lucy Enoch's out 005, and with a relay start, you never know.
Number 2 swimmers for Zionsville A, Kira Hunter. For Fort Wayne A, Maris Williams, Concord A, Brindley Yoder, Carmel A, Lindsey Bowen, Fishers Area A, Emma Schwartfeger, Irish A, Izzy Melvin, Carmel B, Kayla Barr, and Dunlin A, Adeline Lochner.
So Fishers is way out there to start. Addison Carlisle did her job. She needed to get out front, and that's exactly what she did. And Emma Schwartfeger is doing the job as well. Lindsey Bowen splits 27-9 for Carmel, so just a little bit faster than Schwartfeger, but Fishers is out there, full second ahead, and here comes Lindsey Bowen. It's going to be a close, competitive race here. In Concord over there in lane number 3, they have Katie Brenneman on the anchor leg, so can't count them out as well. Fort Wayne looks to be putting together a great relay. They're up in third.
Let's take a look at the number 3 swimmers. Zionsville A, Nina Shearney. Fort Wayne A, Kate Fetters. Concord A, Bella Biggers. Carmel A, Faith Gory. Fishers Area A, Frankie Ramey. Irish A, Lauren McGrath. Carmel B, Tiffany Neff. And Dunlin A, Peyton Ostertag.
So Frankie Ramey and Faith Gory are battling it out in the middle of the pool. Faith Gory finished second in the 100 freestyle, so I wouldn't be surprised if she approaches Frankie Ramey here. Two impressive swimmers in the middle of the pool. They flip even, and Gory flips around second, and Frankie Ramey hits the wall first. 0.6 of a second separate their first 50 splits, so it looks like Faith Gory might be moving in front. She's going to hand it off to Molly Sweeney, who, as we know, has had a night. Here comes Fort Wayne in third. They're having a great swim, and so is the Carmel B down there in lane 7. And Concord has Katie Brenneman coming up, so this is going to be a really fun finish across the pool, lanes 1 through 8.
Anchor leg, Zionsville A, Maya Phillip. Fort Wayne A, Jordan Glassley. Concord A, Katie Brenneman. Carmel A, Molly Sweeney. Fishers Area A, Emily Wolf. Irish A, Elena Riggins. Carmel B, Sophia Floyd. And Dunlin A is Lux Mountford.
So here goes Molly Sweeney and Emily Wolf, two of the most accomplished swimmers of these championships. Carmel A and Fishers A battling it out. Fort Wayne has third locked up there in lane number 2. Molly Sweeney's out in 26-7. So that's fast. She's out there. She's only got to split about a 30-point for them to break this record. Record watch for this relay with about 25 meters to go. And here comes Emily Wolf. They're going to have a fantastic swim in lane number 5 for Fishers, and there's a great battle across the pool for 4th place between Concord, Irish, Carmel. Katie Brenneman's going to move Concord well into 4th.
Going to be close with the record here.
There it is. 56-26. That's a meet record, association record for Carmel Swim Club. Fishers finishes second, 358.46. Third was Fort Wayne, 404.26. That's a legit record right there.
We start our relays with the new meet and association record, 356.26 from Carmel A and the 13-14 girls 400-meter freestyle relay. The question is, how many records can we get in these 4 relays here?
Should be fun. This next one is pretty fast.
13-14 boys 400-meter freestyle relay. 4th and final heat of time finals. In lane 1, Capital A, led off by Eli Roboloth. Lane 2, Carmel B, led off by Carter Hadley. Lane 3, Irish A, led off by Seth Wernz. Lane 4 is Carmel A, led off by William Lathrop. Lane 5, Summit A, led off by Jackson Pyle. Lane 6 is Center Grove A, led off by Anthony Quadros. Lane 7, Franklin Regional A, led off by Alexander Rees. Lane 8 is Newburgh Sea Creatures A, led off by Garrett Klein. Your top time from the morning session. Carmel C posted a 4:01.11. Meet and association record set in 2016 by Carmel Swim Club, 3:38.98.
Yeah, so at the time, that Carmel relay just about a second over the national age group record. So it's a strong one. Out front is Will Lathrop, followed by his teammate into Carter Hadley. These two Carmel relays are going for it. In the 200 freestyle relay, Carmel A was first and Carmel B was second. So they're going to be in there, and so is Irish, so is Summit City, and so is Center Grove. They have Henry Linus on the back end of this one, so should be a fun relay heading into the second leg here.
Let's take a look at the number 2 swimmers for Capital A, Miles Elrod. For Carmel B, Will Ledine. Irish A, Matthew Weeks. Carmel A, Lewis Zhang. Summit City A, Grant Hibisky. Center Grove Aquatic A, Cameron Mazdai. Franklin Regional A, Ty Madeira. Newburgh A is Jake Rogers.
So Carmel A and B are first and second at the moment. Third is Franklin down in lane number 7, but it's a really, really competitive field. And Center Grove is in 6th. They've moved into 3rd, and they have Henry Linus on anchor, who's had a crazy good meet for Center Grove, the 14-year-old. So if they're anywhere close, I wouldn't be surprised if Henry Linus moves them up a place.
Carmel A out in front here in lane 4.
Yeah, they got Lewis Zhang in the 2nd position, the strongest swimmer going 2nd, really extending that lead for the Carmel A relay.
Let's take a look at the number 3 swimmers here for Capital Aquatics A, Eli Coomer. Carmel B, Eddie Zhu. Irish A, Carter Schultz. Carmel A, Riley Sweeney. Summit City A, Everett Loney. Center Grove A, Nikhil Iyer. Franklin Regional A, Alex Madeira. And for Newburgh Sea Creatures A, it's William Gilbert.
So Carmel A leads, Carmel B is sitting in 2nd, and then Center Grove is 3rd. And here comes Irish as well with Carter Schultz on the 3rd position. A lot of room for movement in this 400 freestyle relay. Very different than the 200 freestyle relay that we're going to see up next. 2 laps to the pool for each swimmer makes a huge difference. Carmel B continues to hold down the 2nd spot. Now that split from Summit City, or excuse me, from Irish was not correct. It looks like a big time splash hit the board for Summit City. Going into the anchor legs, Carmel's going to lead 1-2, but I have a feeling Center Grove's going to be in it as well. This is going to be a fun finish for 2nd place.
Anchor legs, Capital A, Jack Hildreth. Carmel B, Corey Hahn. Irish A is Leo Nye. Carmel A, Brian Kwan. Summit A, Hamilton Gates. Center Grove A, Henry Linus. Franklin Regional A, Seth Russell. And Newburgh Sea Creatures A, Nathaniel Siebert.
And Henry Linus has got a lot of room to make up for Center Grove, and Hamilton Gates has had a great meet. He's the anchor for Summit City, so this is going to be a fun one, 1st through 5th. Looks like Carmel A is going to win this thing, no doubter, but Corey Hahn's in there for Carmel B in lane number 2. Irish is chasing. They outsplit the Carmel B by 0.5 of a second, and they're breathing at each other. Corey Hahn in lane number 2 can see the rest of the pool, and here comes Henry Linus in lane number 6. It's going to be a battle here in the last 15 meters between lane 2 and 3.
Well, let's keep our eye on that battle for 2nd. Carmel A wins it in 4.
Oh, who's going to put their head down? Who's going to get there first? Looks like Leo Nye might go by him. Carmel B. Wow, a 1-2 finish from the 2 Carmel Swim Club relays. And incredible depth showcased by their 13-14 boys, and a really impressive swim from Leo Nye on the anchor leg from Irish Aquatics. Wow. For him to come back from 2 seconds behind, and Henry Linus over there in lane number 6. He was right there as well. They were only about a second back, and they finished 4th in the heat. That was fun.
3:44.19 for Carmel A on the win, and 3:51.52 for Carmel B. And then just 6/100ths of a second back was Irish A there, who finished 3rd. Event 91, 11-12 girls, 200-meter freestyle relay, 3rd and final heat of time finals. In lane 1, Westfield Aquatics A led off by Lainey McCulloch. Lane 2, Irish A led off by Molly Barnes. Lane 3, Carmel A, Natalie Powers on lead off. Lane 4, Duneland A led off by Bryn Law. Lane 5, Southeastern A led off by Peyton Walker. Lane 6 is Fort Wayne A led off by Naomi Bowen. Lane 7, Munster A led off by Maya Turfler. Lane 8, Fishers Area A led off by Alex Nguyen. Meeting Association record set in 2010 by Southeastern Swim Club. It's 1:55.14. Your top time for the morning. Pike Township A posted a time of 2:02.81, and that's a good time.
That's fast. That's really fast. Duneland's in as the top seed in 2:02.0. So great time this morning by Pike. And man, this is going to be a really fun relay. Those 400s were great, but Molly Barnes is out front for Irish, and then Fort Wayne 2nd, then Carmel. It's going to be close.
Number 2 swimmers, Westfield A, Poloni. Irish A, McLean. Carmel A, Patelli. Duneland A, Billings. Southeastern A, Hayes. Fort Wayne A, Trent. Munster A, Gwessinger. And for Fishers Area A, it's Wolf.
Here goes Irish Aquatics. Molly Barnes is on leadoff. She's one of the best freestylers in the state at this age group. And Maddox McLean for Irish is showing up too. They're in first through 2 legs.
Number 3 swimmers, Westfield A, Daly. Irish A, Browning. Carmel A, Nix. Duneland A, Drave. Southeastern A, Papakronis. Fort Wayne A, Pattison. Munster A is Bushman. And for Fishers Area A, Ayers.
Yeah, so here goes the field approaching Irish Aquatics. This is going to be One heck of a finish. Evie Papakronis, the 50 back champs in for Southeastern, and she might take the lead here on the third leg.
Anchor legs now, Westfield A. Yonkis, Irish A. Gunther, Carmel A. Clark, Dunlin A. Bones, Southeastern A. Dykeman, Fort Wayne A. Dunn, Munster A. is King, and Fishers Area A. Petrosky.
Here comes Ellie Clark, lane number 3, Carmel Swim Club. She might be your high point champion, and she is showing up here at the end. Dunlin's coming in as well. They're the top seed, and you got to keep an eye on the clock because that pike relay might score as well. Ellie Clark's going to win this thing.
Coming to the wall, Carmel A. is going to take this relay in a time of 1:58.13.
Wow. And we still got one more relay to go. This has been fun. 1:59.03 for Dunlin. So 2 teams getting under 2 minutes, averaging under 30 seconds. Wow, fast relays here in the state of Indiana tonight.
Southeastern A, third in a time of 2:00.02. One swim left here. 11-12 boys, 200-meter freestyle relay, fourth and final heat of time finals in lane 1. Center Grove Aquatic A, led off by Zachary Groniger. Lane 2, Boilermaker A, led off by Eric Yu. Lane 3 is Fishers Area A, led off by Eli Francis. Lane 4, Carmel A, Jack Street on leadoff. Lane 5, Irish A with Lucas Hanawick on leadoff. Lane 6, Fort Wayne A, led off by Isaac Bouchon. Lane 7, Noblesville A, led off by Braden Wright. And Lane 8, Indiana A, led off by Peter Kovacs. Meeting Association record set in 2019, 1:54.06, Carmel Swim Club. Top time from the morning session, Zionsville A posted a time of 1:57.31.
Oh, wow, 1:57 is incredible. That might be in contention for the state championship. 3 seconds under that 2-minute barrier. Top seed is Carmel with 1:58.95, and Jack Street is out front for Carmel thus far.
Number 2 swimmers here for Center Grove A, Quadros. For Boilermaker A, Tilton. Fishers Area A, Hosagi. Carmel A, Wang. Irish A, Barnes. Fort Wayne A, Taylor. Noblesville A, Connor. Indiana A, Van Sant.
Don't forget about Indiana Swim Club down in lane 8. Peter Kovacs had a great leadoff leg to put them in front. And now Carmel Swim Club has taken control. All 3 age groups thus far have gone to the Carmel Swim Club A. We'll see if anything changes here. They're going to control it through 100 meters.
Number 3 swimmers, Center Grove A, Zhao. Boilermaker A, Glassmaker. Fishers Area A, Young. Carmel A, Wenrick. Irish A, Albert. Fort Wayne A, Luckett. Noblesville A, Monger. And Indiana A, Gio.
So Hudson Weinrich and Carmel in lane number 4 are out in front. Here comes Indiana Swim Club, lane number 8. They're in second position, and Irish Aquatics has moved up as well in lane number 5.
Now our anchor leg, Center Grove A, Raghavendra. Boilermaker A, Pritz. Fishers Area A, Carlisle. Carmel A, Zhao. Irish A, Wells. For Fort Wayne A, it's Hench. For Noblesville A, Vose. And Indiana A, Chamberlain.
Hey, Indiana State record, watch out. All they have to do here is go about 29 low.
1:54.06 is the record.
He's going to enter the flags at about 150. Record watch. 1, 2, 3. They got it. 153.78. Another record falls.
What a great finish here for third. 3-way battle for third of the wall, but we end the night with a new Meeting Association record. 153.78 for the Carmel A team. In 11-12 boys 200-meter freestyle relay.
And that was a finish over there in lanes 2 and 3. They tied 2 minutes and 39 seconds, and it looks like Zionsville might place third in this thing from this morning. So what a way to end this meet. 4 incredible relays at the end of this session. 2 meet records. Wow, what an ending to these relays at the Indiana Age Group State Championships.
Yeah, Irish A second in the heat, 157.13. Third in the heat with Fort Wayne A, 2:00.32, and we had that tie for fourth between Boilermaker A and Fishers Area A, 2:00.39. Unofficially this morning, Zionsville with a 57.31, so if that time is correct, they will get third on the podium here.
Yeah, so we'll go down to Mike Miles for some relay awards. Recognize all of our athletes that just competed, or maybe they competed this morning in the relays. So very fast heats. Meet record in 13-14 girls 400 free relay. Meet record 11-12 boys 200 free relay. 153, that's no joke. I mean, we saw a couple swimmers approach that 29-28 second mark in the individual 50 free, and to have 3 teams in the state of Indiana 157 or better, that's incredible in this relay event.
So we'll hear from Mike Miles, the voice of the pool deck, here in a minute with our final awards presentations of the weekend here on this Sunday evening. Also high point winners, 11, 12-year-olds and 13, 14-year-olds, and also our final team scores for the 11, 12-year-olds and 13, 14-year-olds. And then our final team scores for our overall combined champion, and then we'll have our girls and boys team scores as well coming up from Mike Miles here in a moment. Also want to remind everybody that there's more swimming next week on the Indiana Swimming YouTube channel, right back here from the IU Natatorium. Wednesday through Sunday, we'll have coverage for the NCSA Summer Championships. Coverage will start on Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning, and Griffin, I think you're going to be here for that one.
Yeah, I'll be here all of the sessions Wednesday through Sunday. I'm excited to come back and broadcast at the NCSA Championships, the National Swim Club Association Championships. One of the fastest meets contested in the country all year, right here at the historic IU Natatorium. It's going to be a lot of fun. One of the most competitive 18 and under meets that we'll see across the United States this summer. So come on back. Indiana Swimming YouTube channel if you appreciate good swimming. U.S. Nationals are going to be going on in Irvine, California. And we're going to have some fast swimming downtown at the IU Natatorium. It's a fast pool, and that's why people come here to swim, and that's what they're going to do next week at the NCSA Championships. It's going to be a lot of fun. Happy to be back on the broadcast for some fast swimming. Trial cuts are eligible in November, so some of the best 18 and under swimmers in the country are going to be aiming to approach those cuts so they can qualify starting in November. So lots of different opportunities. Some swimmers might even be targeting those Speedo Junior Nationals in Irvine the following week. So there's a lot of swimming left to go in the United States, and one of the biggest meets in the country is coming right here to Indianapolis, so we're going to have coverage.
8:30 each morning, Wednesday through Sunday through prelims, and 5 p.m. in the evening for finals for that one. I'm going to turn things over to Mike Miles here shortly for our final awards presentations. Let's thank our sponsors again. Speedo. Speedo is an official sponsor of the Indiana Swimming LSC and all championship meets. And the Ellsmore Swim Shop. The Ellsmore Swim Shop, the official supplier and sponsor of Indiana Swimming and Team Indiana.
Yeah, so we're just getting started on handing out the hardware here tonight on the Sunday finals session. Still have relay medals to go. Recognize those meet records for 13-14 girls and 11-12 boys. And we'll also have all the hardware to hand out, the individual high point plaques for 11-12 boys and girls, as well as 13-14 boys and girls. And we'll also have the team titles for each age group. So 11-12 boys champion, 11-12 girls champion, as well as the 13-14s. And then we'll name a boys team champion for the entire meet, a girls team champion for the entire meet, and the combined team champion, which is always fun. Maybe we'll see some swimmers hop in the pool in celebration at the end of this thing. But we got a long way to go for awards here. Lots of swimmers being recognized, lots of swimmers having impressive weekends from all around the state of Indiana.
Might see some swimmers in the pool, I would think, definitely for that. But the question is, will we see some coaches in the pool?
We might see some coaches. We might see some belly flops from coaches, swimmers. You never know. You never know. It depends how excited the coaches are at the end of this one. I mean, 2 meet records. We might see some cannonballs, some belly flops, some good laughs, and some good memories at the end of this one.
So all these awards presentations coming up here with the voice of the pool deck, Mike Miles. He's done a great job all weekend, as he always does here at the age group state championships.
Yeah, Mike was around last weekend at the senior state championships, added great energy to the pool deck. There's some great swims there at senior state, and led right into the age group state championships. We had a great 3 days of swimming. I mean, we had the most records fall right here on day 3, so these swimmers brought it each and every day. We're ready to go, had a lot of fun. And Mike helped add to that energy on the deck, especially before those relays.
Take a second to thank a couple more people. We had Cooper Van Dries helping us out all weekend here from Swims for South Bend Riley High School. Did a great job helping us out with production truck, also on commentary. And Kyle Hayflick helping us out all weekend on production truck. Switching of our cameras.
And shout out to you, Eric, working every single session here, play-by-play, voice of the meet, helping us out with all of the names of the athletes from around the state. One of the biggest meets we've had since the COVID shutdown. It's great to be back at the IU Natatorium for these long course championships.
Yeah, the first time they've been back here since 2019.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, they were here in 2019, no meet in 2020. The meet was outdoors in 2021, and now we're back at our home pool.
I think we're ready. Let's go to Mike Miles.
Ready for the award presentation now. 13-14 girls, 400 freestyle relay. In 8th place, Zionsville A, Metzger, Hunter, Chernoff, and Phillip. 7th place, Dunlin A, Werner, Loeffner, Ostertag, and Mountford. 6th place, Carmel B, led with Barr, Neff, and Floyd. 5th, Irish Aquatics A, DeBridney, Melvin, McGrath, and Riggins. 4th place, Concord A, Ernsberger, Yoder, Biggers, Brenneman. 3rd place, Fort Wayne Swim Team A, Frankie, Williams, Glassy, and Fetters. That's Annabelle Frankie, Maris Williams, Jordan Glassley, and Katie Fetters. Second place, Fort Fishers Area Swimming Tigers A, correction. Addison Carlisle, Emma Schwertfeger, Frankie Ramey, and Emily Wolf. And the 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champions and 13-14 girls 400 freestyle relay from Carmel Swim Club. They set a new meet record in their time of 3:56.26. Lucy Enoch, Lindsay Bowen, Faith Gorey, and Molly Sweeney. Beautiful job. Way to wrap up the weekend.
Well, we got a second as well. We'll pass along some more thank yous. We want to thank our Riverside Swim Club. They were the host of the meet here this weekend, for all their hospitality they provided us this weekend, and all the staff of the IU Natatorium as well. We see Dave Thibodeau hard at work down there with tearing down the blocks for the meet for the weekend, the electronics.
Yeah, it really does take a village. We said it almost every day.
Our next award presentation, 13-14
Here's
boys,
Mike Miles.
400 freestyle relay. Eighth place, Newburgh Sea Creatures A, Klein, Rogers, Gilbert, and Seibert. 7th place, Carmel C, Brubaker, Lowe, Bruford, and Allen. 6th place, Capital Aquatics, Roboleth, Elrod, Coomer, and Hildreth. 5th place, Summit City Aquatics A, Pyle, Hibisky, Loney, and Gates. 4th place, Center Grove Aquatic A, Quadros, Mazdai, Iyer, and Linus. And 3rd place finishers, Irish Aquatics A, Seth Wirtz, Matthew Weeks, Carter Schultz, and Leo Nye. 2nd place, Carmel Swim Club B, Carter Hadley, Will Ledine, Eddie Zhu, and Corey Hahn. the 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champions, and 13-14 boys 400 freestyle relay, Carmel Swim Club A, William Lathrop, Lewis Sang, Riley Sweeney, and Brian Kwan in a time of 3:44.19.
Nothing like a little podium selfie to end out the meet. Athletes having fun here after 3 long days of competition. One more.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
2 more awards to go. 11-12 girls and boys 200 freestyle relay awards coming up next.
Award presentation now, 11 and 12 girls, 200 freestyle relay. Eighth place from Pike Township, the A relay, Crowder, Boslett, Riggins, and Michael. 7th place, Fort Wayne Swim Team A, Boland, Trent, Pattison, and Dunn. 6th place, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers A, Wynn, Wolf, Ayers, and Petrowski. 5th place, Munster Swim Club A, Bushman, Geisinger, Turfler, and King. 4th place, Irish Aquatics A, Barnes, McLean, Browning, and Gunther. In 3rd place, Southeastern Swim Club A, Peyton Walker, Ashlyn Hayes, Evie Pepacronis, and Kendall Dykeman. 2nd place, Duneland Swim Club A, Bryn Law, Mallory Billings, Kennedy Draves, and Brinley Bonez. And the 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champions in 11 and 12 girls 200 freestyle relay, Carmel Swim Club A, Natalie Powers, Isabel Fatelli, Anna Nix, and Ellie Clark in a time of 1:58.13. One more relay presentation to go. Coming up on the awards podium now, the top 8 finishing teams, 11 and 12 boys, 200 freestyle relay. In 8th place, Noblesville Swim Club A, Wright, Connor, Monger, and Voss. 7th, Indiana Swim Club A, Kovacs, Van Sant, Zhao, and Chamberlain. This will be a crowded podium. We had a tie for 5th between Boilermaker A, U, Tilton, Glassmaker, and Pritz, and Fishers A, Francis, Osage, Young, and Carlisle. Again, a tie for 5th. 4th place, Fort Wayne Swim Team A, Bushong, Taylor, Luckett, and Hench. 3rd place, Zionsville Swim Club A, Kellen Riddell, Kerry Slater, Mac Wright, Everett Heiser. 2nd place, Irish Aquatics A, Lucas Henwick, Max Barnes, Noah Albert, Sawyer Wells. And the 2022 Indiana Age Group Long Course Champions in 11 and 12 boys, 200 freestyle relay from Carmel Swim Club, the A relay. They set a new meet record in a 1:53.78. Jack Street, Gabriel Wang, Hudson Wenrick, and Donald Zhao, your champions in 11 and 12 boys, 200 freestyle relay. Fantastic. All right, now individual high point awards. I'm going to read off the top 3. We have so many, and our winner in each of these categories for high point coming up to the awards podium, because we have a trophy for you. In 11 and 12 girls, your high point from Carmel Swim Club at 96 points, Natalie Powers. 2nd place from Irish Aquatics with 107 points, Molly Barnes. And your 11 and 12 girls high point award winner from Carmel, Ellie Clark, with 117 points. In 11 and 12 boys high point, 3rd place from Concord, Harry Bruner with 104. 2nd place, Indiana Swim Club's Peter Kovacs with 109. And your 11 and 12 high point boy from Fort Wayne Swim Team, James Hench, with 120 points. (13-14) girls individual high point, the top 3. 3rd place from the Tigers, Addison Carlisle with 101. 2nd place from Concord, Katie Brenneman with 111. And your female champion for 13-14 from Carmel Swim Club, Molly Sweeney with 120 points. (13-14) boys, 3rd place from Valparaiso, George Patterson with 105. 2nd place, Carmel's Brian Kwan with 107. And your 13-14 high point male from Carmel, Lewis Sang with 117 points. In girls team scoring, for 11 and 12 girls, I'm just going to read off the top 3. The rest of the results will be posted online. 3rd place, Munster Swim Club with 263 and 1/2 points. 2nd place, Southeastern with 316. And your 11 and 12 girls team champions, Carmel Swim Club with 475 points. In 11 and 12 boys, the team awards. 3rd place, Irish Aquatics with 193. 2nd place, Indiana Swim Club with 231. And your champions for 11 and 12 boys in team scoring, Carmel Swim Club with 423 points. 13-14 girls team awards. Third place, Concord Swim Club, 357 points. Second place from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, 621. And your 13-14 girls team champions, Carmel, with 770 points. In 13-14 boys, team scoring, third place, Irish Aquatics with 306 and 1/2 points. Second, Summit City Aquatics with 441 and 1/2 points. And your 13-14 boys team champions, Carmel, with 1,076 points. Now in the combined team awards, we do have trophies for the top 10 teams. So the top 10 teams, please come to the award podium, pick up your award. Combined team scoring, 10th place, Zionsville with 519 points. 9th place, Indiana Swim Club with 530 points. 8th place, Southeastern Swim Club with 538. 7th place, Duneland with 555. 6th place, Concord with 583 and 1/2 points. 5th place, Summit City Aquatics with 703 and 1/2 points. 4th place, Fort Wayne Swim Team with 1,101 points. 3rd place, Irish Aquatics with 1,274 and 1/2 points. 2nd place, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers with 1,386 points. And your combined team score champions for 2002 Indiana Age Group Long Course, Carmel Swim Club with 3,366 points. Congratulations to Carmel, to all of our coaches, all of our swimmers. Fantastic championship.
Well, that's about going to put a wrap on things for us this weekend here at the 2022 Indiana Swimming Age Group Long Course Championships, sponsored by Speedo. It was a great weekend here. A lot of fast times. Saw Meeting Association records fall, including several here tonight, including a couple relays. Griffin, great job. Any final thoughts?
It was a lot of fun this weekend. We saw several meet records fall here tonight during Sunday finals. That's the way you want to end it at the Age Group State Championships. Congrats to our top 10 teams, as well as all of our athletes who went a best time or even qualified for this weekend's championships. This is a great step in anybody's swimming career, and we saw a lot of fast swims, and we saw a lot of fun being had on the deck as well. So thanks, Eric, and this weekend was a lot of fun. Ready for next week, ready for some more fast swimming.
Yep, join us next week for more swimming here from the IU Natatorium on the Indiana Swimming YouTube channel. Tony Young, Executive Director of Indiana Swimming, was our executive producer for all our broadcasts this weekend here at the IU Natatorium, and that's going to wrap things up here tonight from the IU Natatorium from downtown Indianapolis for the 2022 Indiana Swimming Age Group Long Course Championships, sponsored by Speedo. For Griffin Hadley, I'm Eric Eaton saying so long, everyone, and thanks for watching.